All right, guys. Today is November 5th. It is a Wednesday, as always. And the Dodgers are World Series champions. The Aggies are 8-0, coming off of a bye. I'm doing great.
Yay!
We're doing great.
Texas A&M basketball is 1-0.
Texas A&M basketball is 1-0. The college football playoff rankings came out recently. There's a lot going on. Hockey starting, NBA started a little while ago. I mean, we are neck deep in sports right now. Greatest time when basketball, NBA, college, NFL, NHL, I mean, soccer, World Series, I mean, you name it. Everything's going on right now. It's awesome. It is a awesome part of the year. Today we're gonna recap. We got a bunch of things today. We're gonna recap Week 10 as we always do. We have an interview with Kboss. If you've been a listener of the show, if you have listened to previous episodes, you will be familiar with Kboss. He has been on, I believe, only once before this. But we asked him his thoughts on college football, the current state, playoff rankings. We talk about Game 7 of the World Series. We talk about the state of Clash Royale right now, where he is at both mentally and physically, I guess, in his Clash Royale journey. And we're also going to talk a little bit about NFL. We're going to talk a little AC Milan. They had a game against AS Roma. We'll talk about that. And then, as always, we're going to get into our Week 11 preview. You got anything? Anything?
I'm ready.
Anything big that happened this week?
I've just been watching so much sports.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing.
Year.
So yeah, with that being said, we've got some things to do today. Okay, we'll start off with Vanderbilt going to Texas. Final score, Texas 34, Vanderbilt 31. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, that was a game. I think it wasn't as close as it looked if you just check the score.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt. With that being said, though, Vanderbilt had a chance to win the game, which is crazy.
Very legitimate chance.
34-10, quickly turned to 34-31. And, I mean, if they come down with that onside kick, which probably should have, that's a whole different game.
They very legitimately have a chance to at least put it in overtime. It wasn't a game at the beginning. It was 17-0 in the first quarter. Texas' first play of the game. Quick pass out to Wingo. He goes 75 yards to the house. That Vanderbilt possession, fumble on the exchange. Colin Simmons sacks Diego Pavia, recovers the fumble. Texas gets a field goal out of that. Then Vanderbilt, I don't know if they go 3 and out, but they didn't get very far. They punt the ball. Texas, 10 plays, 83-yard touchdown drive. I think that might have been like one of their longer touchdown drives of the season so far. C.J. Baxter runs it in for a touchdown. It is 17-0 in the first quarter. At this point, we haven't seen Vanderbilt in their big games against Missouri, LSU, Alabama. All of these games, it's a back-and-forth battle, and it's a dogfight. They kind of pull them into the, between the tackles. It's a slow defensive battle. At this point, 17-0 going into the second quarter. Vanderbilt very much, we haven't, up until this point, we hadn't seen them be down this much this early. And they fought back. They had a big fourth quarter. The thing is, though, is that at this point, Texas is trying to run out the clock rather than score points. So the big thing is, though, is that you're talking about, or the you were saying that they made it a game close. That one touchdown that was just a busted coverage that I think Gilbo didn't realize that. I guess the safety was probably his responsibility to be over there. Gilbo, though, just let him run up the sideline, and they scored like a 70-something yard touchdown. That was the one play where it was like, yeah, Texas. You know, when you're trying to run up a touch. I mean, obviously on defense you don't want to, but that was just a busted coverage. You don't want to score in 10 seconds or whatever they did. So yeah, Vanderbilt. They made it a game close. They didn't get the onside kick, but boy, it kicked off Livingston's leg, and it looked like they had it for a second. What were your thoughts on? What were your takeaways from Texas in this game?
They're getting there, I guess. Like preseason number 1, that's a tough cross to bear.
Yeah.
And the expectations that come with it. So, I mean, I think that was like you see it with so many teams every year in different sports. That's hard to live up to. So I don't think they've lived up to that, but that's also kind of an unfair expectation. But they're trending upwards, which is great for them. Like peaking at the right time, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because they still struggle. Like Kentucky is bad, even though Kentucky just beat Auburn 10-3, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they're peaking at the right time because they have a bye this week and then Georgia next week. Yeah. That'll show. And because I respect the heck out of Vanderbilt, but I'm still cautious on putting them in the as a contender. I think we talked about that last week. So it's not minimizing the win at all. Like that's still a really good win. It's a good opponent. But that Georgia game, and Georgia's shown weaknesses too, so it's definitely winnable. And that'll show, I feel like, a lot about Texas.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Arch really spread the ball really well. I think there was like at one point 10 different receivers that he had thrown to, or 10 different people had caught the ball. I think that kind of good offensive play calling to get him quick answers. On the Vandy side, too, it really seemed so you get in the hole early because you can't tackle Wingo on just a short pass, right? Which, for Arch, that's all he needs to do is just throw it to his athletic wide receiver and let him make a play. You can't do that, so you give up a touchdown, and then you fumble, give up a field goal, and then you can't get anything going on that second drive, and then you let up a touchdown on the defensive side. It really seemed like Vandy wasn't great in this game at tackling in space. There was a lot of tackles that they missed. It really did kind of seem, it was the perfect storm at the beginning of missed tackles, fumble, and then can't tackle Wingo in space or on a short little pass. So, coming out sluggish, you had to make it up on the back end. But the thing is Vanderbilt, they're not a super high powered, offense. It's more you want to eat up clock and then score a touchdown at the end. And that's how they and they've done it really, really well. And they've also been solid on the defensive end in order to allow them for their slower offensive pace. But this game, since it was 17-0, at that point you had to change what you're good at a little bit. And in the fourth quarter, Texas, I think, is trying to run out the clock. And then they had that one busted coverage. So it becomes a close game at the end. But when you go up 17-0 in the first half, or you're down 17-0 in the first half, and your offense isn't built to score super, super fast, that's not the way you play. I think at that point it becomes, okay, Texas has to make some mistakes, which they did. But, wasn't able to capitalize on the onside kick recovery. And was just down too much early. You made too many mistakes at the beginning. And so you get a, 34-31 loss on the road. So Texas, they did great. I mean, they made some plays.
And I'm sure you felt the same way, but the play calling was literally just going back to last year or the last 2 years of Texas play calling of all these screen passes and everything, which made sense. Like,
that's all you need to do.
I don't know why it changed so much. I saw a crazy stat, and this isn't meant to be a shot. I just found it wild. I think it was like nearing the end of the second quarter, Arch had 145 pass yards and 149 yards after catch.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's not a shot. It's just like, that's crazy. But if you have playmakers against a defense that's missing tackles, you might as well take advantage of it rather than try to force things.
For sure.
Just take what they give you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first play of the game was that 75-yard touchdown to Wingo, and he caught the ball 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and ran it for 75.
Exactly.
Or technically 80, but...
Yep. Yeah, and the offensive line being kind of a struggle at the beginning of the season, you can't be balanced. It's harder to be balanced on both running the ball and then passing the ball, so you put more pressure on passing the ball if you can't run it. It seems like having Weisner back has, it's maybe not made them the best offensive running team in the country, but it fills in that gap a little bit better to where Weisner, maybe the offensive line isn't, great, but he can make a few runs dangerous enough to where you don't put it all on Arch, and you start to see Arch. I'm honestly really glad to see Arch starting. I think he's still similar to what he's been all year, but they're winning games, and that's why the narrative is different. But hopefully this kind of gets him to a place where now that he's had a little bit more, the team's had a little bit more success, maybe he takes pressure off of himself and plays a little bit more, just throws it to his receivers and lets them make plays, because that's all he's needed to do. But yeah, Texas gets a big one. Vanderbilt falls to 2 losses in the SEC, both to Alabama and Texas. Texas is still 2 losses, but only 1 conference loss. So Texas gets a bye, and then they play Georgia. And I don't know who Vanderbilt plays this week or if they have a bye, but, we'll talk about college football playoff rankings when we have Kboss on the show. But yeah, big win for Texas. Miami at SMU. Final score, SMU 26, Miami 20.
What is the deal with Miami in November?
It's
bad.
It's bad, and it's shaping up to be the same story as last year, where you're 10-2, and you have a really good team, but you might not make it into the ACC championship game, and then you're 10-2 with your best win being
Notre Dame,
which is honestly a good win, better than last year's for sure situation. So there, I could still see them sneaking in, but yeah, Carson Beck throws 2 interceptions. It's a fall from grace, and yeah, the ACC just looks entirely different to what we thought in the preseason and what we thought 3 or 4 weeks into the season. Really, really crazy. SMU, on the other hand, they are a 1-loss team. Conference, 1-loss team in the conference, and have a chance at the ACC title, or at least the ACC championship berth. I didn't watch this game because this is the 11 o'clock game. I didn't watch it a whole lot because the Texas-Vanderbilt game was going on. Did you watch this game?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
Yeah, so Miami, fall from grace, fall from the sports dude, top 25. Yeah, really,
I
really.
should have known better than to trust Mario Cristobal and Carson Beck.
Yeah. Carson Beck,
The
I don't.
team is so good, like on the field, the team. But if Carson Beck's going back to averaging 2 picks a game,
Yeah.
because they have 2 losses and he's thrown 6 interceptions in those 2 losses.
Yep. And I would assume in the other ones that he threw 1 or less. So, that'll lose you games, unfortunately. Indiana at Maryland. Final score, Indiana 55, Maryland 10. Indiana is they are a very good team. They are a very consistent team. Let's say that. Consistency, week in and week out, playing, like beating opponents that you should beat by 45 points. I mean, it's what good teams do. They beat Illinois by like 45. They've now beaten Maryland by 45. They've beaten Oregon on the road by 10, throwing a pick 6 in the fourth quarter. They've beat somebody last week by Michigan State, I believe. They beat them by same margin. So on both sides of the ball, Indiana seems like they're beating bad opponents. They're for sure covering the spread. I think they deserve the ranking that the College Football Playoff gave them, which was 2. Again, we'll talk more about the College Football Playoff later. But Indiana is a very, very good team, and it looks like they are shaping up to see Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, I'm excited for that matchup.
I'm very excited as well. I'm because it's Indiana, I still feel nervous about that. But I mean, they beat Oregon. So Indiana. Great job. Continue to prove me wrong every single week. Georgia versus Florida. Florida-Georgia game. Down in Jacksonville? Is that where it is? Yeah.
Gainesville.
They don't play the game in Jacksonville or Gainesville.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think they play it in Jacksonville. At some like Ever something stadium.
Everbank?
Everbank. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Who plays there?
Jaguars?
That makes sense. Yeah, Jaguars are from Jacksonville Jaguars. Yep. Final score: Georgia 24, Florida 20. This was an interesting one.
Georgia's on fraud watch.
They've been scraping by.
They've been scraping by. One could say they've had some help.
Yeah. Can you explain to me the controversy? Because apparently there's a controversy at the end of the game.
To be honest, I couldn't because I wasn't watching live. But Twitter and text that I was getting from people, there was something about like something being ruled a catch when it very obviously wasn't. That I think gave Georgia a first down to help milk the clock.
Okay.
Down, I think.
Okay.
But
that's
between the Auburn and now this, there's been a lot of drama surrounding their close wins.
And they're a 4th and goal or 4th and whatever it was away from losing to Tennessee too.
Mm-hmm.
So they've scraped by.
Yeah, kick.
Yeah, they've lost to Tennessee. They've beat in very close games Tennessee, Auburn, Florida. I'm very excited for this Texas-Georgia game in 2 weeks. Georgia's found ways to win. I think even Kirby said, I can't remember if it was this game or he was like, I don't know if we deserved to really win this game, but we found a way. Sometimes that's just all you need. So any Kirby Smart team, any Georgia team is going to be really tough. So they just continue to find ways. But again, my pick for the SEC championship game was Georgia, mostly because of their schedule, but also just because they have a pretty good track record. Anything else about this game that you want to talk about? Okay. Oklahoma at Tennessee. Final score, Oklahoma 33, Tennessee 27.
Tennessee's in trouble, man.
Yeah, were you shocked by this outcome?
I was.
I was very shocked. Tennessee had a blackout, too. Black unis, they looked really cool. Oklahoma's defense did a really good job of holding this high-powered offense. I believe the high score. It's like they've scored the most points in the SEC. They held them to 27, and they scored 33. The Mason Thomas, the strip, and then the run back, and then stiff arming whatever that tight end, and running it all the way back for a touchdown while dealing with an injury. That was a really cool play. And I mean, at that point, Tennessee, I want to say, was driving. Maybe it was 10-0, and then they get a touchdown to make it 7-10. So, big part in the game. Really shocked. I picked Tennessee in this one. I thought being at home, that offense being good. Oklahoma's offense, it hadn't been good the past couple of weeks, and I just thought Tennessee had consistently scored a lot of points. So I was banking on their offense to win out against a defense that would most likely be on the field a lot, but I was wrong. And Oklahoma is alive. They have only 2 losses at this point, with Texas and Ole Miss being 2 SEC losses, but they are still alive for a college football playoff spot. And that's a big road at Neyland in a blackout.
Mm-hmm. I guess you're not on Twitter right now. There is a group of loud Tennessee fans that want Josh Heupel fired, which I find crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I think that's just being a little too passionate. I think that's being a little, because he's done a good job with what he's had.
I've seen on Twitter both sides from Tennessee fans, both sides of that drama. And I can somewhat see both sides, but there's no way firing Josh Heupel's the answer right now.
Yeah.
Like, they lost James Pierce. They lost their quarterback very late in the cycle. So it was tough from the beginning. I can understand maybe saying, like, oh, this DC looks like a fraud, because their defense was supposed to be the strong suit.
Yeah.
And that has not been the case. They've scraped by a lot of their wins, and they've had some close losses, but I don't think firing Heupel's the answer.
I don't think
But
so.
I do think that, they're a passionate group, so I understand that you requiring more, but that's a quick trigger.
Yeah. And, if you're a fan, and you went to the game and, it's a blackout, we're playing a big team, and then you lose, I guess I understand where you're coming from, but I do agree. I don't think firing Josh Heupel is necessarily the answer. I mean, he led y'all to the college football playoff last year in the SEC. And did they beat Alabama last year?
Mm-mm.
Alabama beat them. Okay. I think they'll play them. Oh, no, they already played them. Yeah, Tennessee lost. So I don't feel like Josh Heupel is the person that you should blame for this. I just think Oklahoma's defense is good, and they figured out a way to scheme up a good way to stop the offense. But yeah, I don't know. That seems a little like a quick trigger for me, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, USC at Nebraska. Final score: USC 21, Nebraska 17. I did not watch any part of this game. I did see Nebraska, I believe, was up most of the game. USC comes back late. They pull off the win. Mm-hmm. Nebraska, funny enough, I mean, they were kind of in the hunt up until, I believe, this game. I believe now they've lost, or I actually don't know. But big win for USC, considering they are still in the hunt for, how many let's see, USC has lost to Notre Dame, Illinois. Okay, so they have 2 Big Ten losses. So you're probably not going to get to the Big Ten championship with Indiana and Ohio State, both currently being undefeated with no conference losses. But it would be USC. They're still, I think they're like one of the best offenses in the country. I think they're number 1 last I looked, which was a couple weeks ago. So they've got, Jacoby Lane and Jaden Mayava as quarterback. So I feel like
Makai Lemon.
And Makai, you're right. Makai Lennon is nice. They have pieces. They are just in a very tough conference. So just keep winning. See what happens. Cincinnati at Utah. Final score, Utah 45, Cincinnati 14. I don't really want to talk about this. You can
I was
talk.
surprised. I mean, I picked Utah. They were favored by 10. I was surprised it was that bad. Brendan Sorsby, not what he has shown to be. But I just think Utah's good.
Yeah.
They ran into Tech, who's just better.
Yeah.
But I think Utah's a good team.
I think they are too. I'm glad that the CFP committee thought so as well. Cincinnati, my Bearcat fans, let's have a conversation. Just you and me. I don't know what happened, but you know that I wasn't the reason, right? Like I've been supporting you guys all year. I have y'all as the runner-up, Big 12 champions. I guess we're only 5-1 now, though. So we still have everything in front of us, guys. Let's not panic. We still got our guy, Sorsby. Let's still be supportive. This team, I mean, playing at Utah is hard. Ask. Oh, I guess BYU played at home. Playing at Utah is hard. They're a very good team. Let's not hit the panic button. We still got everything in front of us. We lost to Nebraska. I don't know why. Like first game of the season. And then we just ran into a really good team. We had to go on the road. No worries. Water under the bridge. Refocus. And, we still got everything in front of us. So, City of Cincinnati, we're good. Georgia Tech at NC State.
God.
Oof.
Yo.
Final score, NC State 48, Georgia Tech 36.
Did you see Haynes King final stat line?
I did not.
408 pass yards, 103 rush yards.
I did not realize that he had that many total yards. Wow.
And they were reporting pregame. He had done some interview about like his health, and he was like, "Yeah, I've been pissing straight blood for a week." Like he is getting killed out there, but he's still putting it on for hot Atlanta.
I know. Whenever I see him walk on the sideline, he's like nursing a limp. And he looks like he can't breathe right. And he looks like he's in a lot of pain.
What a dog. What a dog, though.
I think we talked about it, though, but on College Game Day, whenever he's doing the thing, whenever he's warming up and they're talking to him, they'll always be like, Haynes, like, why are you so tough? And he's like, well, my dad would call me a wussy, and my dad would do this, so, like, I have to prove him wrong every single week. It's like, I mean.
Beast. It's working.
Longview High School legend, Haynes King. Yeah, that's what you would think coming out of Texas football. But yes, Georgia Tech. They lose for the first time this year, honestly, and the CFB committee really kind of, they dropped them decently far. Considering their best win might be Duke or Syracuse, I understand from a resume standpoint. The Clemson the Clemson win doesn't look as good, considering Clemson is now 3-5 and losing an ACC game to NC State. NC State, again, I mean, they only have one loss in the ACC, so not a terrible team. But, again, Georgia Tech still have everything in front of them with only one loss. there's only one undefeated team, and that would be Virginia. So you still, I think you still just got to win and see how things pan out. You have anything else on that game?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is there any other college football news? Those are all the games that I've written down. Is there any things that I'm missing?
No. The only big thing was Sam Levitt's out for the year. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, that's sad.
Also, Hugh Freeze out at Auburn.
Hugh Freeze out.
So now the Auburn job is open.
Gosh.
This is a time to be a coach of a Tier 2 program or a mid-major coach where there's so many jobs open that you're probably going to get paid a lot more than just because if they want you, you could go to 5 other different programs at this point. I don't know. Not 5 for some of these mid-major guys. But like John Summerall, he's probably getting, there are at least a couple of these open spots.
All of them are interested. Maybe not Penn State, but all these SEC, Florida, LSU definitely is, and Auburn would be.
Yeah. So, if you have a bunch of guys, there's more supply than demand. Or is it more demand than supply? Yeah, more demand
than supply of proven.
Yeah, it's just economics, guys.
Everyone knows.
We are kind of an econ podcast. I did study economics in college, so I do know a thing or two about these types of things. So
Eli Drinkowitz is now the betting favorite to go to Penn State, to be the Penn State head coach.
Wow.
Which obviously that's all very fluid and changes quick, but that was interesting to me.
You can bet on these things?
Dude, you can bet on anything. I could literally go on Kalshi, unpaid ad, sponsor us right now, and bet like the weather today.
Really?
Like, they do like over under 76.5 in Austin, Texas.
What?
Isn't that insane?
That's insane. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
Also on the Hugh Freeze thing real quick. Hugh seems like a fine person now. He obviously had his scandal in the past. But since his firing, this is always how it goes. After they get fired, then people start telling stories.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous, but still kind of funny to look at. 2 things that have come out since the firing. Apparently, one, pregame, he only allowed worship music. So the players were like blasting Hillsong United before a game, which is that's interesting to me. And also his daughter took to TikTok after the news broke.
Oh, no.
Of just her crying, on camera, like videoing herself crying, being like, they promised us 5 years and it's only been 4. Like, this is crazy. We never saw this coming. It's like, if you didn't see this coming, girl.
Is she in high school?
No.
Okay.
She's out of college.
Oh, okay. So it's not like she has to move schools and like change friend groups and everything. Okay. So she's
an adult.
for her dad.
She's older than us.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm assuming as a coach, it's a crazy profession where the year before you're going to the national champion or you're in the playoff, the next year you're fired. It's just you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, I guess I'm sure from their perspective it was just absolutely insane that it happened this way. From a fan's perspective, though, I'm sure it makes a lot more sense. But yeah, quick trigger these days with coaches because of all the money that's going around. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all? I think that's all the news that I can think of. Okay, we are going to jump into our interview with Kboss. Again, we've had him on one other time, but we're going to jump into some thoughts on college football, movies, World Series Game 7, and then Clash Royale talk. So with that being said, here he is. All right, guys, we've got Kboss back on the pod. If y'all are longtime listeners, you remember Kboss. one of the first couple episodes we talked about him and his what would you say? His little situation that he had in our Clash Royale clan. But he's also a college football enthusiast, an Ohio State supporter, a movie fanatic. Kboss, welcome back on the podcast.
Hey, it's great to be with y'all this fine morning, ready to talk some ball. And we'll see how much I can contribute for this last week because, as y'all know, YouTube TV has been a pain in the butt for ESPN. So this Saturday was a little rough for me, but, we're rolling. We're just going to roll with it.
Yeah, what'd you do? Because I had to get a free trial from Fubo.
So I guess what they did for College Game Day was they ESPN would let you watch it like on the app or whatever without having to like pay or anything. And we have ESPN Plus. So but the thing is like all the good games are on, like ESPN2 or like ESPN or like ABC was one that I couldn't get either, which sucked. So it was kind of tough to basically I was home for the morning slate and then I had to go to work. So I was only really able to watch like fully the Texas game and the Ohio State game. And then I pirated the SMU game. And then from there, I couldn't really do anything else because I was gone. But I was just keeping up with most of them on ESPN on the app, which sucked. But it is what it is. We just kind of had to roll with it. I don't know what we're going to do this week. Maybe we'll get Sling has something, and then I brought up Fubo. Maybe we'll go that route too, but I don't know.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. The few things that I've seen on the whole thing is like people thought that the deal was going to get done before this weekend, and so the fact that it's past this weekend. Now it's like, we just don't know how long it's going to be. And to be honest, I feel like there's a big group of people that only have YouTube TV because it honestly has everything you need to watch college football. The thing is if this lasts longer, I don't know if I'm going to cancel my YouTube and then go to Fubo for the rest of the season because what am I going to do this coming week? Because the free trial is going to run out. So I have to make a decision tomorrow if I'm just going to pray that Mr. ESPN and Mr. Disney can figure something out. Or wait, that's the same. Mr. YouTube and Mr. Disney can figure something out. Or if I'm just going to bite the bullet, I guess I would have to pay for the month of November. And then I would be paying double in November by getting Fubo. So, yeah, I have to make some business decisions tomorrow.
Frick Walt Disney, bro.
Yeah, what the...
It's so... How dumb are you if you're YouTube TV to be like, nah, we won't... ESPN had to have been offering something absurd to make that deal because how dumb would it be for YouTube TV to be like, oh, no, we just won't use your channels. That's so dumb. They're going to lose so much money.
Yeah, because there's going to be... I'm one of a lot of people. We're just talking about it, right? They're going to lose my business. I'm going to go to Fubo.
It ain't. YouTube TV's the victim here. They're getting strong-armed. Frick Disney.
I'm sure they are, yeah.
Frick ESPN. Because ESPN or Disney owns all the other streaming platforms. They own Hulu and they own Fubo. And so they keep raising the prices for their own businesses, which doesn't affect them because they get the money either way. And they're saying, this is the second time this season they've told YouTube TV, actually it's going to cost you more. It's
oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
frick Disney.
Wow. And then it's costing us more because we have to pay the subscription too, and it keeps going up.
Hold up. Yeah, wait a second.
We're the victims.
So, yeah, I'm going to play right into their hands by going and getting food.
That's what they're doing.
It's either $40 to Disney or $80 to Disney or $42 to Disney.
And I just saw a thing this week that Disney raised the Disney Plus and Hulu package from $80 a month to $160 a month. So
wait, say that again.
the package that Disney has, where you get Disney Plus and Hulu. For live
I did
sports,
see that.
they
Yeah.
doubled from 80 to 160.
I
So
did
they're victimizing the viewers already with the whole YouTube TV thing, and then they're taking advantage of them again by raising their current prices or doubling them. They suck. They're the worst.
That's crazy.
Keep Mickey Mouse out of my sports.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big issue. It's a big problem, and it's so funny because I saw all those commercials, the ones that they kept replaying, where it was like save the steal or whatever. How is the website? Is it just kind of like one of those petition things where you just sign? You're like, I'm angry, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think that's gonna help. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to move things along any faster, but to be honest, I just kind of didn't know what those were about. And then, yeah, obviously I go on Saturday to find my channel. To be honest, I was trying to watch the Aggie volleyball game against Texas. Couldn't find SEC Network, and I thought I was the stupid one. No, it's actually Mr. Disney. Really, Mr. Disney.
Frick Disney.
Yeah. It's bad.
All right, well, now that that's out of the way, we can we can talk some football. You said that you got to watch the Texas Vandy game. I'm trying to think of what the other 11 o'clock games. So we had Texas Vanderbilt. I believe Miami and SMU were also that morning slot.
Mm-hmm.
Miami loses. We were projected. We said Miami was the best team in the country a couple 3 or 4 weeks ago. Now they're 2-loss team. The ACC conference race is crazy.
The ACC sucks.
It's wide open. Yeah.
It's absolutely
it's crazy.
There's only one undefeated. It's Virginia. The other 1-loss teams are Georgia Tech, Pitt, Louisville, SMU, and Duke. Who would have thought, man?
It's crazy,
Clemson,
but it's fun to watch.
It is.
Clemson just lost. They're 3-5, right?
They're 3-5. Yeah.
They have to win 3 of their next 4 games to make a bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they have Georgia Tech still.
Yeah.
They have South Carolina still, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know who their other 2 are.
Yeah. Absolute insanity. Kboss, what did you think? So Ohio State, who'd they play this past week?
Penn State.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so did you watch this game?
Yeah, I watched all of it.
Okay, can you give me your thoughts on the game? Because I saw it was a little close at the beginning, but I know they pulled away. But give me some of your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that about this game is that this was going to be a prime time, like one of the best games of the season at the beginning of the year. Everyone was looking forward to this game, and then it it turned out Penn State was fraudulent, and then you can't blame Ohio State for the season, like the schedule that they have, because you have teams like Penn State who are underperforming, and it's hard, whatever, that case. But as far as the actual game, it was the beginning was scary, I guess, only because of the way, I feel like Penn State and Ohio State is always going to find a way to be a matchup, regardless. But Penn State, honestly, their schedule, their wins and losses are bad, but as far as the talent they have, they have 2 of who I think are one of the strongest running back duos in the country. And they're both seniors, so I don't know what the likelihood of them staying are, or if it's even possible, but I think if they have a way to keep them, they're going to be really good in the future. And same with their freshman quarterback. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he played really well too against a good Ohio State defense. It's just when it's an embarrassment of riches, let's be honest. you have so much talent on the offense and on the defense. Like games are never going to slip away from you. And I mean, going into like the second half, you don't feel worried at all. It's kind of like how A&M felt against LSU in that second half. It's like in no way did we feel like we were down and out. Like, but I don't know. It was. I mean, the receiver position. It just is unmatched. I mean, you have Carnell Tate on the Belendikoff watch, Jeremiah, and I mean, the way I see it with Ohio State every year is you have your number one receiver, but it always ends up being the number two guy that shows out. Like, go all the way back to Olave, and it's like Jackson Smith and Jigba starts going off, and then you think he's going to be the guy next year, and then it's like Egbuka or whoever, and then like that, and then Marvin's freshman year, everyone thought it was going to be Egbuka, right? And then Marv came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and then the year after that, everyone thought it was going to be Marv, and then it ended up being Jeremiah Smith, and so it's kind of like one of those things where it's like everyone puts all that pressure on the number one guy, and they don't realize how many weapons are around them.
For sure.
And I mean, at the running back position, Bo Jackson's a dog. I didn't expect him to play at the beginning of the season because, we had CJ Donaldson out of the portal, and then Peoples, who was a returner. So I don't know. I mean, I feel really good about Ohio State's future. I think everyone talks about how they're not the same team, and Sayin is just doing his part, and it's like he doesn't need to do too much to put big numbers on the board. I mean, he's in the Heisman race, which I can whatever you want to say about Sayin being in the Heisman race is whatever. Like, I know he has a lot of talent around him, but regardless, it was a good win, and very high likelihood they end the season undefeated going into the playoffs. So
Yeah, it's I think Ohio State, I mean, obviously one of the reasons Ohio State is so good is that, and it's the same thing with A&M. It's when you talk about offensively, if you talk about a team as a whole, this also applies. But when you have, so if you have one guy that's going to take all of the attention, it really frees up the other guys to make plays, or they have to make plays, right? And when your team is as balanced, when they have a good running attack, when they have multiple wide receivers who can make big-time catches and big-time plays, the problem from a defense becomes, because from like a defense perspective, you're saying, okay, we need to identify the weaknesses, and then we need to just we need to paint them into a corner, and whatever they're not good at, we're going to try and force them to do that. And I mean, that's the problem, right? Is if you force Ohio State, if you bracket Jeremiah Smith, right, you free up, to be honest, Carnell Tate, you free up Carnell Tate. And then if you're playing, cover two and you're sitting back a little bit more, you can run it between the tackles. Okay, they load the box up. All right, now we throw it to either Jeremiah Smith or Carnell Tate. And I think Indiana, Texas A&M, and Ohio State have such a balanced team that that's why, like, Marcel, I think, like, Marcel, Ty Simpson, and Julian Sayin, they don't have to do, like, a whole lot, right? They just have to play within themselves and just, make the check down throws, make the right reads rather than trying to make the big play all the time. Or they don't have to. Like, they don't have to throw it 50 yards every single play. So, yeah, at this point in the season, I will say I think Ohio State has been playing consistently on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And it's been regardless of who they've played, whether it be Washington, whether it be, Texas, that first game of the season. I think you're working out a lot of you're figuring out who your team is, so it's going to be a little bit different of a game. But I would, with the college football rankings coming out, I guess we could talk about that next. I do think Ohio State being at 1, I have no problem with, because I really do think that they are both so efficient on defense, and their offense is very explosive, and they can beat you in a lot of different ways.
I don't have any problems with it either. And you know, the way it's shaping up, we're going to see Ohio State play Indiana in the Big Ten championship, and you know, everyone, you know, you can say what you want about Indiana's strength of schedule or like, you know, but they look good. And I'm excited for Ohio State to get to play a team like that, especially, you know, whether or not you win or lose that game, you're likely going to the playoffs. So having a game like that where you're actually tested against a really good team could help them out in the long run as well. So, yeah.
100%. And I like Indiana. I mean, I was shocked when they beat Oregon on the road, and they have not, like, they have been, talk about consistency. They beat Illinois by 45 points, and then they beat Oregon on the road by 10 points while throwing a pick 6 in the fourth quarter. And then they beat Maryland by another 40 points less. I mean, they have been, and, you know, Maryland, Illinois, and Oregon. Oregon scored 20 points. That was the most out of the 3. The other 2 scored, I think, 14 and 10 or something like that. I mean, it's on both sides of the ball, and it's been the whole season, which is crazy that Indiana is doing this.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see the other day, since you just mentioned Indiana, you know Fernando Mendoza's brother is their backup quarterback?
I did not know that.
And he came into the game in trash time and immediately had like a 55-yard run.
I did not see that.
Yeah, it was sick. And they had a Nando cam on the sideline of him like celebrating and stuff. It was awesome.
Now, did he transfer with, or was he already there?
I don't know.
I feel like maybe I did hear, maybe he was there and that's why he transferred there. I thought I remembered something like that.
Trying to look it up. My phone's not loading.
So, Kboss, you said that you had no problems with the college football playoff rankings, 1 through 12, or really any, even past that?
I need to find it because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Notre Dame is up there now, right? Notre Dame's in the top 10.
I believe they're number 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was having this conversation the other day about how, you know, people are complaining that Notre Dame's above like a OU or a Texas, for example. And I disagree. I think Notre Dame has proven themselves to be a lot better than the way they started the season. I mean, 6 straight, you know, you have the chance of winning, you know, 10 straight and, you know, being, I don't know. I just haven't liked OU as of recently. And I think Texas is one of those teams that just will never, I mean, they played to the strength of their opponents. Like they go into overtime against Kentucky and, you know, all these things. So I like where Notre Dame's at personally. I am excited for this BYU Tech game, obviously, because that's going to determine a lot. I think that's going to prove a lot. I still think I just haven't really my eyes haven't been popping out at Georgia. I mean, I respect where they're at 5. It's just, you know, me personally, I think Ole Miss is probably better than both Georgia and Oregon. I know Georgia beat Ole Miss, but
okay,
as of recently. And then let me see. I think
here. Sorry to interrupt you.
I don't know.
I'll read off the top 25 college football playoff rankings real quick for the people who haven't heard them yet. I'll start at 25. Number 25, they have Tennessee, 3-loss Tennessee at 25. I think that was a little controversial for some people. 24, Pitt. 23, Washington. 22, Missouri. 21, Michigan. 20, Iowa. So big showdown with Iowa and Oregon coming up. number 19 USC, 18 Miami, which is crazy because they were up so high early in the season. 17 Georgia Tech, they dropped real far. Vandy at 16, Louisville at 15, Virginia at 14, Utah at 13. They're getting a lot of love. Oklahoma at 12, Texas at 11, Notre Dame 10, Oregon at 9, Texas Tech at 8, Utah at 7, Ole Miss 6, Georgia 5, and then Alabama number 4, Texas A&M number 3, Indiana number 2, and Ohio State coming in at the number 1 spot. Sorry, you can continue.
As you're saying it, I'm kind of remembering something I heard the other day where you have Bama, who's ranked below A&M, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have an undefeated A&M, and people talk about how Bama in their last 4 games have beat ranked opponents, So clearly a stronger strength of schedule, but at the same time, you lose to a Florida State team who at the time looked really good and now have started to look, not good. So it's kind of, are you punishing losing to a highly regarded FSU team at the time, or are you rewarding a 4, back-to-back ranked win? So that's a little tricky there. But other than that, I mean, I don't feel too strongly about any other rankings.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's interesting. So I think being undefeated is very highly, like it's highly regarded, but I want to say it's almost like it's like an inflated price where there's a bubble underneath your ranking, and if you were to lose one game, like Georgia Tech, I guess they didn't release it last week, but Georgia Tech was what? They were ranked number 8 or number 7 last week, and they fall all the way to 17. So they drop close to 10 spots. And BYU, I feel like same predicament. If this is going to be tough going on the road at Lubbock. But I'm interested to see how far they would fall because Alabama for sure, with being 4 ranked teams, a couple of them on the road, that's really big. A&M, though, I mean, with the win over Notre Dame, that being the non-conference, and then the road win at LSU, depending on how LSU does the rest of the season, I feel like there's less of a bubble underneath the undefeated, record. I don't think A&M would fall as far if they lost to Missouri on the road than if I'm just really interested to see how they count this BYU. If BYU were to lose to Texas Tech, if it would shoot them down. I guess BYU did beat Utah though, so they do have. I mean, in Utah, they've been giving Utah a lot of love at 13.
Yeah, I actually like Utah. I think they're a good team. They're beating. I mean, they have a couple losses, but every game they're winning by a lot. So
yeah,
I like them.
And that's why I was so high on, and I still am on Texas Tech, because they went to Utah and beat them by, 28 points, whatever it was, 25?
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I think the committee thinks so too, because Texas Tech is at 8 with 1 loss over Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... Sorry, Zach, did you say... What are your thoughts on these rankings? I think you were saying... Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was
yeah.
waiting.
No.
I'm not a fan of them. I think they might even be worse than the AP.
Wow, okay.
Tennessee being ranked is ridiculous to me.
Okay.
Also, I understand the whole group of 5, like, talent-wise and everything, but Memphis has done everything they can to be ranked. I know they have that 1 loss to UAB, but I don't know. I feel like you're splitting hairs whenever you talk about a multi-loss Tennessee who hasn't looked very good versus a good group of 5. There are 4 2-loss teams ranked above Louisville and above undefeated Virginia. Is Virginia undefeated or do they have one loss?
They have one loss.
Yeah.
They lost to Louisville, the team that they're ranked higher than.
So that's crazy to me. I'm a Texas Tech fan. I've been high on them all year. We both have. I don't know if Texas Tech should be above Oregon right now.
Really? Okay.
I mean, Oregon's one loss is to who we were just talking about.
Yeah.
One of the best teams in the country in Indiana. So I don't know if I like Tech over Oregon. And then you already said Georgia Tech all the way down to 17.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost, but they're 8-1, right? 8-1.
Yes.
They're 8-1, and they go down to 17. So, how many 2-loss teams are ahead of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
6 2-loss teams ahead. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan. And for the Notre Dame stuff, like, this is where it gets impossible. But what do you care about more? Like, a team with close losses to good teams, or teams with better wins but also worse losses? And that's where, like, the Texas talk comes in. Because it's like Notre Dame, on one hand, you could say they lost by a combined 4 points to Miami and A&M, which are both quote-unquote good losses. And then their best win is USC. Texas has better wins, but they also lost to Florida, who is not very good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It seems like, and we've talked about this at the beginning. Teams like Texas and Notre Dame, they have, a bungee cord, if you will, attached to themselves on the rankings, and whenever they win, they're just going to shoot up a lot faster than teams like Georgia Tech. Whereas Georgia Tech is the opposite. They've got a ball and chain tied to their ankle, and whenever they lose, they plummet. And I some of it, I will say, like Georgia Tech. Who's Georgia Tech's best win? Because Clemson, obviously, now at the time is a little bit better than it is now, but I feel like their best win may be, I know they beat Duke. Might be Duke.
Colorado, Clemson, Duke, Syracuse. Yeah, those are their main.
So yeah, maybe Duke. I don't know where the committee ranks Duke. So I guess there's a little bit of, Georgia Tech's signature win is kind of spoiled now. But, they're still 7-1, and they're still in the hunt for an ACC championship. So from a locker room perspective, you're still playing for everything. You just put your head down and don't pay attention to these rankings. Because if you win the rest of your games and you go to the ACC championship, I think there's a good chance that you could still get in. Okay.
Also, I find it crazy. It's confusing trying to figure out who the 12 teams are, because it's not just the top 12 ranked. So, like, even though Texas is in there at 11, they'd be the first team out if the playoffs started today.
Yeah, do you understand that completely, what the whole thing is?
I think so.
Okay.
It's just hard to...
Could you explain it to me? Do you think it's okay if not?
4 conference champions.
Okay.
1 group of 5, and then the 7 top-ranked remaining in the field.
Oh, so
this, Memphis, as of right now, would be in, which pushes Texas down to 12. And Virginia, who's at 14, is the highest-ranked ACC team. That's assuming that they win the conference.
Okay.
So that would put them there, which would push Texas to 13.
And what you're saying is, so you said 5 conference champions. They all get automatic bids, but they don't get the top 4 seeds anymore.
No.
Oh, okay. Because I was confused on how that dynamic worked.
So, like, how it looks right now, there's still a few weeks, another month or so, but, like, Memphis would probably be the 12, even though they'd be an auto bid, because they're the best group of 5 team, it looks like.
Gotcha.
And then Virginia, this is what happened with Clemson last year, because Clemson won the ACC.
Right.
And they ended up being they were the 12.
Yes,
Because
they were.
Boise State was a conference champion, which got a bye, which is still crazy.
Yeah,
And they
it's
played
crazy.
Texas in the first round at that 12-5 game.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like the system. I like the system. I think this will be a good one. I'm interested to see how it shakes out, though. Do you have anything else? And either of you guys have anything else on the college football playoff?
Mm-mm.
I like. I'm sure y'all have been using the playoff predictor stuff. But I think we can. I know y'all are glazers of this team, but I think we can agree that Miami is out of contention, right?
I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like. I think they still maybe have the possibility to rally for a playoff spot, considering they have. I guess they have 2 losses now in the ACC. Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
so they're not
interesting.
making the championship, and I think their best game they have left is Pitt.
Wow. Yeah, so they have Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pitt. So they might do the exact same thing that they did last year and go 10-2 and miss the playoff because they didn't get into the ACC championship game. Wow, that is a tough one. I honestly, I guess, like if you're betting on this, I think I would probably bet Miami to miss with all of the good teams that are probably going to have 2 losses or 1-loss teams. Yeah, they'll find a way. So, yeah, if I'm a betting man, I would say Miami's probably on the outside looking in. But you never know.
It's out of their hands essentially.
Yeah.
Like it's depending on how the rest of the ACC falls, really.
Yeah, I would say. Which, again, I read off who are the undefeated and 1-loss teams. Insanity that even like week 2 or 3, you would think that Miami, Clemson, and Florida State would not make the ACC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Caden, what are your thoughts on A&M football so far? Give us your kind of, since we haven't talked to you, I believe since the season has started. What has your thoughts been on the season so far?
So let's let it be known in the online universe that I'm obviously raised Ohio State, and I'm big on Ohio State, but I'm fully bought into the A&M program. Like if it came down to an Ohio State A&M game, you would see me in all out A&M, and I'd be going hard for A&M because, Ohio State's done it before. A&M, this is the most fun I've had watching them play since the Manziel era.
Yeah.
And so like I'm really high on A&M, and to be honest, before the LSU game, I was trying to not give myself any hope. Like, I kind of was staying quiet in the shadows, not really ready to commit. But that performance just took me over the hump, got me fully bought in, and I feel really high on the Aggies. And here's the thing I'll say, the thing about the LSU game is if we play against any other team, like Missouri, for example, like we did in that first half, good teams aren't going to let you come back from that. Like a team like Missouri, if we go down like that in the first half and we're beating ourselves, Miami isn't going to give us, or Missouri isn't going to give us the room to bounce back from that. And I think when it comes to, being in the playoffs, you're playing against the best teams in the country, and it's on you to make every play, to execute every drive, and to execute the game plan on all cylinders. So, the LSU game gave me a lot of hope, knowing that, the only thing beating us at this point is ourselves. And I just really want to make sure that, we don't play sloppy like that again, because, so many blocked punts, in the last couple games, and then, field goals, and our kicking is a little shaky, and then Marcel in the red zone. So it just kind of gets to that point where, you want to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to get it done. So I don't know. I feel good about A&M regardless, though.
What do you think makes this team? Obviously, there are many things, but like your kind of analysis of this 2025 A&M football team, what would you say? What do you think makes this team great?
I mean, I think it's the complementary football. You know, I think it's being able to be explosive on offense and having big plays, having the weapons to make things happen, but also being able to play complementary football and having your defense step up when you need them to. Cassius House playing out of his mind. Our DBs. It seems like as of recently, most of the offensive we've played, their game plan is to just target Des Ricks, which you want to point out the weakest link in our defense. Like I would maybe go that route, but it's to a point now where it's like, Will Lee's able to cover who he needs, who their number one guy. Torian's able to be a powerhouse captain of the defense, and then Cassius is able to get home to the quarterback. So it's like, if I ever feel shaky about our offense, I know our defense is able to step up and vice versa. So I think it's just the ability to execute on both sides of the ball, whereas in the past, it's always kind of been an offensive problem. And now it seems like our strongest asset is our ability to make big plays and have execution running the ball and throwing the ball. So it's kind of weird to say, it's not typical to talk about how good our offense is. And
Yeah.
I love how, as of recently, like we always talk about how we feel bad for certain teams, and it's like we're usually always the one that gets feeling bad for. People always feel bad about us. So now we're on the other side of the coin, and it's a good feeling. So
Yeah. Beating teams so bad at their own place that they're firing their head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah. There was actually a play, I meant to say this last week. There was a play, and again, I don't really know what's happening. I could just be, it could have just been coincidence. There was one play, though, where Torian York was yelling at, I can't remember who it was, if it was the safety or if it was the corner. Maybe it was Ratcliffe, but he was pointing at him and telling him to play up. He was saying, "Hey, you need to get here. You need to get here." I think it was Ratcliffe was like, what he was like waving his hands like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, why am I coming up?" The ball is snapped. The ball gets thrown to the side that Torian York was pointing at Ratcliffe. It was like a, what do they call it? A swing pass. A quick pass to the outside where the wide receiver is just blocking. Pass went there, and if he would have moved up, he would have had a better chance to get up and make a tackle for loss. I don't know if that was just the play design and he just didn't know it, but I saw it and I was like, that'd be really cool if he saw that on film and he was pointing like, they're throwing it to this side, come over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a dog in the center. He you see all the clips of him predicting the plays and jumping into the gaps, and
Yeah,
especially against that Auburn game, I remember specifically he was just getting after the quarterback, and I don't know, he's a good player, one of those guys that he may not have all the numbers or the height and weight you look for, but he makes up for it with his IQ for sure.
yeah. No, I've seen the one edit that Hurdles posted where it was where he was, dissecting the offense and just tackling. He's kind of like the Riley of college football, wouldn't you say?
Okay, bro.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah,
That's disrespectful.
I would think so. To who?
Torian York.
I wouldn't say so. He's low-key the GOAT. No, he's not actually the GOAT. That's Muhammad Light. But speaking of Muhammad Light, 3-time CRL world champion, first time ever.
So happy for him.
Did you see his match? I believe it was against Sub? I don't know who it was against. But he cooked them. Absolutely.
Do you hear yourself right now?
Yeah, I'm talking about
crazy,
what
bro.
What do you mean? It was a great match. Fantastic. I got to watch film. I got to get better. That's what I'm trying to do. Every single day. I wake up, try to get better. Sorry about it.
That's what Cole does. That's what Cole does on his off days. He watches film on Clash Royale.
I try to get better every single day, 1% better. Trying to think of, let's see. Yeah, do you have any stories throughout the season of like moments? Because like the Notre Dame game, like for me, I watched it with my family in the living room, and we were going crazy at the end. I think Zach watched it in a hotel. I don't remember. In Abilene, Texas, with his mom, and he like did laps around the hotel.
Yep.
What do you have any stories of like when watching the games throughout the season or?
For the Notre Dame game, my family was out of town for some reason. I think they were with my sister in Oxford, and so I was watching that game by myself. And I remember I sent y'all a video of my reaction, and I'm trying to remember what other games I went to the Mississippi State game, so I was there in the student section for that game.
For the blackout.
I was on the field for the pregame too, which was good.
Oh, that's
which
sick.
was a good time. And then I'm trying to think of where I've been for the other games. It's been pretty. It's one of those things where it's like it's just fun to watch because you're not like we're just winning by so much. We're not usually sweating.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Which is weird.
I went on a hunting trip. Shout out the Chum Boys. We went on a little dove trip and we watched the A&M Arkansas game there. So that game got pretty rowdy because it was pretty scary that first half.
Yeah.
And then it's been pretty good so far. The bye week was nice because I was working pretty much the whole Saturday night, so I didn't have to get too caught up in my phone keeping up with the score and stuff. So.
Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say where you watched the ending of the Notre Dame game?
Yeah, I was at home. It was just me. I was like yelling at it was it's one thing when you're like watching by yourself, you're like I need people to talk to about it, but for me it was like I could just yell cuz I was by myself. Like I could just say whatever the hell I wanted to. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah. No, to be honest, when like the high pressure games, I like watching by myself because I like when bad things happen, I like to be like, it's okay, like next play. But if I have a bunch of people around me being like, I'm like, it kills me. It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I watched it with my family, and so when we got the punt block, of course my mom was in the other room like, that's it. It's over. I'm like, Mom, gotta chill.
I always think it's over when one thing goes wrong. Like the season's done.
I forgot about this stat I saw about since we were talking about the top 25. It says Utah, Iowa, Oregon, Pitt, Washington, Missouri, and Tennessee, who are all ranked, are a combined 0-12 against teams in the top 25.
Yeah.
So something to think about.
It's so fascinating to see what the committee. It's a whole, like, I know it's all of it together equals what your ranking is, but it is, I feel like there are some common things, and it's a mix, but that is a very interesting stat.
It's just like what, like play people who are good, right? Like, I mean, some of it's out of your control, like I already said, with like Ohio State and Penn State, but it's like, you know, I've already talked to Zach about how I think the SEC should be playing the Big Ten and non-conference, but um, yeah, I just want to see better matchups for the most part. When you have like 6 teams that are 0 and 12 against top 25 and they're all ranked, it's just kind of it gets to a point where you're like guessing who should be in the playoffs, you know?
Sure. It is kind of interesting though, because like A&M won't probably get a ranked win against LSU, but the fact that they beat LSU makes LSU become worse, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Oregon, Penn State. I wonder, obviously we could play the what if game the whole time, but like if Penn State were to have won that game, do you think that they would have lost to LSU or UCLA the next week and gone down the spiral and fired James Franklin? So this is actually kind of an interesting point that I have brought up before. And I think it is a little unfair to look at the LSU Clemson game LSU Clemson game is not a good example. The Oregon Penn State game is a good example of like, I think you need to give Oregon some flowers for beating Penn State, a number, I think 3 team at the time, at State College during a whiteout when they had their coach, when all of the players were mentally like thinking playoff, because that Penn State team versus the Penn State that just lost to Ohio State, I think those are different. Those are teams at different parts of the season, and one version is a lot more difficult than the other. It's really hard, though, to quantify that and then, rank, teams based off of that. So, but I just don't think that can be lost within the grand scheme of things. I think that's like something that coaches lament a lot of the time, of like, y'all move the goalposts all the time and there's no consistency. And so, yeah, that's kind of just my thought on that.
Yeah, that's super fair. I mean, it's just weird. It's just the kind of thing that, SEC is so like, SEC is, really middle heavy. Like you have a lot of teams that are very similar. And then you have like a Big Ten conference that has like people who you wouldn't even remember are in the Big Ten, like Rutgers. And, and then you have the top of the top, like the 1 and 2 seeds. So it just gets to a conference issue, and, there's only so much we can control with that, but I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and yeah, I think just try the best you can. Do you have anything else that you want to say on the college football landscape right now?
The biggest thing is the carousel, and I'm not really as well versed on like contracts and like that process. But what I will say is everyone talks about the quick trigger, you fired him way too early. I completely disagree with everything anyone says about that, because in this new era, there's no building up your team. There's no 2 to 3 years of keeping the same guy and building them into what you want your program to be. It's an era of like immediacy. Like after 1 year, you have every resource to get the guys you need that fit your program. And if you go into that season and you don't perform, well, you didn't get the right guys, and that's the coach's fault, right? So, with stuff like, with the James Franklin, it's a little bit more, stretched out over a period of not, beating any teams that are worth anything. But stuff like that, I think I don't know. There is no such thing as a dynasty anymore. I don't think we're ever going to see a team like Bama, in the early 2000s that are, 2010s that are, the best dynasty that's ever done it. I don't think you're ever going to have that again, because you're not keeping guys. Your guys are constantly moving, and you're paying so much money. It doesn't make sense for me on why you would hold on to a coach that's not performing when you have every resource available to produce after 1 or 2 years. So that's how I feel about this whole firing situation that's going on.
How quick is too quick though?
Well, it's the kind of thing where it's like if you're coming into a program and it's your first year, like let's take Elko for example, like you come into your first year and you have every resource available, right? You have all the money you need to spend on getting guys, but at the same time, you have that 1 year of, trying to create a whole new atmosphere of a program, right? So I think with a situation like Elko, firing after 1 year going 8-4 wouldn't make any sense, right? Because, you make it to a bowl and, you have some really good success in the beginning of the season. And then you have this second year of the portal and picking up players where we're getting guys that fit the program and guys who are going to contribute, right? And now we're undefeated. So it's the kind of thing where it's like it took him 2 years to get undefeated, and A&M has every resource they need, right, as far as paying for players. But you have like at Penn State, in the same way, you have plenty of money to spread the wealth and to get guys. And I mean, if you can't get it done, with how long he's been there, I feel like that deserves to go. So if I had to put a timeline on it, I think if you're not doing anything after 2 years, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I still feel like that's a little quick. Because like for the Elko example, obviously it's going well, so there's not much of a threat on his job security. But like he signed on in December. He had 9 days to hold together that recruiting class and then do a transfer class. So year one is based on 9 days of actually being able to recruit. Year two, you get your first cycle of guys that are actually yours that you got to create the relationships with, put time in with, and get to know their family and stuff like that. So after year two, depending on the time of when they're hired, that's really like their first chance to build, like the first time they're given the opportunity to actually build what they want to build. And so if you're firing someone after their true freshmen don't perform and get you to whatever record that program feels is acceptable, I don't know. That still feels pretty quick to me. There's no continuity yet. I don't know.
It's just, I think it's such a tough situation because you, as a coach, right, you implement a system, you try to get the guys that you want, but there's so much, thinking of like what you can control versus what you can't control, there's so much that these coaches can't control. Like in Billy Napier's situation, the scheduling thing I think is out of his hands, and he gets really tough schedules, right? And Lagway gets hurt at the beginning of the season, and so that messes up his early season success. And then you also have the psychology of how losses impact a team, and a team like A&M that starts off the year with two. Well, I don't remember what Florida's first couple games. I guess they played USF, game 2? But who'd they play first game of the... No, it was nobody. Anyway, there's so much that I think goes into being a coach. I think, like, you can pound on all of the... only the things that you can control, and you still get results that are not what you want. And I think if you're an AD, right, like it's all the fan base, and I don't know, the AD probably has more of a grip on it, but all the fan base cares about are wins, right? But these coaches know that wins are a result of, or wins are not something that you can necessarily you coach the fundamentals, you coach and you preach and you try to execute every single play, but you can do really, really well and then the other team make really, really good plays, or, the refs get involved. There's just a lot of things that you can't control, and so some injuries, those sort of things that derail. And I think we try to factor in that when evaluating a coach, right? Like Billy Napier, we know that his schedules are really difficult. And we know that, I guess we know that Lagway got hurt kind of at the beginning of, or in the off season, but I don't know how much weight, we don't give it, I guess, is not enough weight to make him keep his job. And obviously coaches would be on the side of like, yeah, it's a lot harder than you think. And then the fan bases are on the side of, well, you have no excuses. We want wins. We're paying you all this money. I think it's kind of one of those, it's just a situation, right, that people are going to have to navigate. But I think coaches are probably always going to preach the same thing of like, hey, look, I work my butt off every single day. And I try to push this team and we try to get the right players, and it just didn't work out. And so if you want to fire me, you can fire me. But as far as like, oh, is Billy Napier a good coach? Is James Franklin a good coach? We evaluated on, oh, did they win? Did they win the big game? Did they do this? And, I mean, if that's how you want to evaluate it, you can. But, I don't think that James Franklin wasn't doing anything different, this season and got this result than last season. Maybe he tweaked a few things, but it's such an interesting situation. But I get what you're saying.
I'm gonna judge a team based on their ability to produce, and a lot of that has to do with the team's identity. Obviously, if you're like an LSU, you're expected to be in the playoffs every year, and Brian Kelly, #BKKK, goes. He didn't. I'm pretty sure they had the #1 transfer portal going into this season, and they have nothing to show for it. So it's like all of that on top of the fact that he just didn't represent LSU well at all is, I think a direct correlation to why he got let go. And then you have someone like, Mike Gundy, who, it's pretty obvious why he got let go is because he's not winning games, right? And then you have like, you put Norvell in the hot seat, you put, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. It's just, I agree. A lot of it, it sucks that a lot of it is in the fan base's hands. If the fan base hates their coach, then the AD is going to get noise at it. And it comes a thing where it's like, all right, well, I'm going to have to do what everyone else is telling me to do because everyone is telling me to do it. And if I don't, then we're going to lose our fans. But in the same way, if you're a Florida team or an LSU team, there's an expectation there. And if, you're not doing what you need to do to get there, then it just doesn't make sense to hold on to something, that's not going to produce.
Yeah, I get that. I just think that for every case is very individual and unique. Because, and this isn't the Brian Kelly one. Brian Kelly walked into LSU, who has, 3 natties in, the last 2 decades or something, and he didn't perform, so he got fired. So I understand that more. But, like James Franklin, he was a victim of something that he created. I know Penn State was relevant a while ago, but it's like he did his job well, which created an expectation of it being like that every year and getting over the hump. And he fell victim to the expectation that he created for his fan base, because the 1 year, they were literally a couple plays away from being in the national championship last year. And then things go wrong and he gets fired. And I feel like it's hard because you set an expectation, and then the second that something out of your control happens and that expectation isn't met, you're on the chopping block for it.
Yeah. And with Ryan Day last year, right? He loses to Michigan, and all the noise is
he was on the hot seat. They wanted him gone.
And if we're having this conversation and Ohio State loses, so if they lose to Michigan and then they lost in the playoff at some point, we're sitting here having a conversation, the same exact conversation we're having, of James Franklin, of good coach, couldn't win the big. Well, to be honest, we'd probably be saying something along the lines of he was given the keys to a Lamborghini and he never did anything with it. And so, he wasn't able to get the most out of Ohio State. But the fact that he goes on and wins a national championship, now he's he's doing great this year. But, he gets a little bit more cushion. And the narratives that was around James Franklin was he couldn't win the big one. This was supposed to be his year. And then they lose to Oregon. And then I guess all the guys in the locker room just had a rat poison party and went out and lost to UCLA, who had just fired their head coach. So that's the thing. It's just like I get Penn State being like, if we fire James Franklin and get a new guy in 2 years, we might be able to jumpstart the program and, new slate, but all of this is up here. I don't think in actuality, I don't think this new coach, they're going to implement a new system, but this better or worse, it might fit better towards what college football is now. But I think James Franklin was able to accomplish back-to-back 11-win seasons in the 2 years, and then this season didn't work out for him. But I think if one of these programs that don't have a coach anymore, I think if they hired James Franklin, they would have a really good coach coaching the team.
Yeah. Yeah, you can say what you want about James Franklin. I think he's a good coach. You win 11 games, but it's how did you get there? You kind of dodged the good teams. He doesn't win those games. It's statistically proven. So I think that one was more stretched out than people may think of you went to the semis and then you lost, you tanked the next season. So I don't know. It's kind of more I think that one was a little bit less immediate than it may have seemed, but yeah, it's just it is what it is. It's very situational, like you said.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, that was let's move on to some movies. Some thoughts on some new movies. Have you watched any new good movies that you're really excited about, or have you rewatched any movies recently that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, so now that the spooky season has came and went, I kind of went through a scary phase where I wanted to watch some, get the vibe a little bit.
Sure.
And so I watched The Substance.
Uh-huh.
That was the first scary movie I watched. And that one was just an absolute clown show. I did not like that movie.
Agree.
It didn't well, first of all, the concept is cool. It felt like a Black Mirror episode to me, and I like Black Mirror. But it just the ending, completely lost me. It took a 180 and it just completely lost me. I liked the idea of it, and it definitely wasn't it wasn't scary as the way most horror movies are scary. It was kind of more eerie and made me uncomfortable type thing.
Yeah.
But
definitely made me.
It was a little too much on the body. The body horror was good. I understand why it won its award. But I think that movie was a lot more it made me feel icky, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was gross. It was a gross movie. I thought the build up when Margaret Qualley keeps on taking the rejuvenation fluid, when she basically just takes all of it and then has been using it, and then she's I have to go back into the other body. That, to me, I was what is she gonna look like? And then the reveal was oh heck no. So that was a good part. But yeah, no, the rest I said this in my review, but it's a good movie that I'll never watch again.
I thought it was
and I wouldn't even say it was a good movie.
It's a bad movie I'll never watch again.
It was probably worse than Anora, and I hated Anora.
Oh, I haven't seen
It's
it.
just it was not good. But I understand why people like it. I can understand where there's some love for that movie. I watched Seven, and I really liked Seven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
I
gave it four and
rewatched
a half
it.
stars.
Yeah.
It was really good. I like that kind of the mid '90s type kind of mystery type movies, and then um, it kind of felt like the PI investigation movies are always going to be good for me. Like I enjoy those a lot. So that one was probably my favorite that I've watched in the last like month or so.
Did you see the similarities between Seven and the Batman?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it very like detective-esque, and like it like the villain kind of reminded me of what's that guy's name? Paul Dano.
Yeah.
Um like the guy from Prisoners and the villain from Batman too.
Yep.
Um I really liked that aspect, and it's very like I guess like noir is the word, like very kind of ominous, and like the way the film was shot was really cool. It just that was like a well put, like very well put together movie from start to end. Like the whole like each kill and everything, and then you get to the last one and it's all coming together, and you're kind of like caught way off guard in like a good way. Like you had
Yes.
no idea, like you didn't know what to expect. And but I thought, I mean, Morgan was great, and I think Pitt was really great too. So I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah. Yeah. The ending, it was so like, because there's so much buildup to like, oh, this is going to be the grandest, Kevin Spacey is kind of playing this whole thing up. And I'm thinking while I'm watching, I'm like, is this like, am I going to really see this as grand too? Like, is this buildup going to actually pay off? And it was just perfect because like the van comes in. Also, if you haven't seen the movie yet, skip like 30 seconds ahead. But the van comes in, delivering the package, and you're like, the package? What is that? And you're thinking, is it a bomb? Like, what is this? And then Kevin Spacey starts talking to Brad Pitt, and you're like, okay, Wrath. Like the ones that are left are Wrath and Envy, and you're like, how is he gonna like where are the two bodies? But he's leading you to the bodies, and then he's what's in the box. Yeah, it's I thought it was so good when I saw it for the first time.
Yeah, that's definitely like a good rewatch too. I think that like you can kind of maybe pick out some stuff from like um I also watched Get Out recently, and that's another movie that has a good rewatch because it's like you kind of pick up on things. It's
Yeah,
another kind of mystery type thing. You don't really know what's going on, and then you kind of start to figure it out, and then it catches you off guard, and you're like, wait, what? But it's like I don't know, that those two movies are kind of similar in my head too, type the thriller type.
yeah. No, I need to. I do want to rewatch Get Out. Cause yeah, that one's also a really good one. So yeah, you're right. Same kind of. It's like it is a horror movie, but like I would say it's more on the tame side, for sure.
Yeah, the I like the scary movies that aren't too demonic. Like it's like I feel like the demonic stuff is really easy cop out. Like you can just say, oh, like a demon possessed them, or like, oh, like they did this ritual or whatever. But
Uh,
like with movies like Get Out and like Seven, it's more like it's more complex than that, and it makes for a better movie because it feels like it was well put together and
hundred
like well
percent.
thought out. Like that's just why like I watched Weapons last night, and that's why I kind of didn't like it, was because it felt like it was kind of like it felt like another one of those movies where it's just like demonic, and you do this ritual and whatever, and then
Sure,
like they end up whatever. So I don't know. That's how I felt about that one specifically.
sure. Have you seen Us?
Yeah, yeah. I like all the Jordan Peele's. Nope, Us, and Get Out are all
Okay.
like three of my favorite kind of thriller types. And Us is another good one. I think I would probably put Get Out over Us. I'd have to
Okay.
watch Us again,
Okay.
but I think I did enjoy it. I mean, y'all know how I feel about Lupita, so
Lupita.
Yeah,
I
Us
still
is
need
like
to see Nope.
Us is so. Yeah, you've seen
Parts.
You've seen parts of Nope.
I need to see it though. I liked Us. Us is my favorite.
Yeah, I agree.
And
'Cause-
I say that comparing it to one other. I liked Us over Get Out. Good Lord.
Whoops. Yeah, I think Us is like perfect because it actually has like there's kind of a reason. It all loops back on itself. You kind of understand everything once you've seen. It's not just like what you were saying, where it's not just like a spirit or like a witch or something like that. There's kind of a spooky underlying possibility that could be real. That's Us is probably my favorite scary horror movie, I think.
okay. I'll have to watch it again because I did really like it and I like the family aspect of it. There
Mhm.
was like I think like the chase scene maybe was a little drawn out for me.
Okay.
Like when they go into their neighbor's house or whoever that was and they go through that whole thing.
Okay.
But like Nope, it was kind of like those little things, like whenever he walks upstairs and like everybody turns their head and watches him walk upstairs and like things like that kind of got me like a
Yeah.
little scary. And then like, but yeah, I think the last time maybe we had watched Us together in college, but I think that was probably the last time I've seen it. So it's definitely been a while.
Okay. We watched Alien Romulus too. I know you were a big
Yeah.
fan of it. It was
It's the best movie in 2025.
it was really good. I'm also a big sci-fi guy. I thought the whole part at the beginning, like I loved how there was like almost like world building at the beginning. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're at that like
It's a
space
big
station
franchise.
thing.
Yeah.
It is. You're right. And I honestly, to be honest, I actually haven't seen Alien, the first one.
I hadn't either. I watched it after I saw Romulus.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm assuming that there's a lot of there's a lot of other things that make sense if you've seen most of the. Actually, my dad was explaining it to me because he's seen Alien, and he's seen.
Mm.
He was saying that a lot of the movies that were made after Alien happened before, like they were more like prequels almost. But I think this Alien Romulus took place afterwards, right? Because
I don't know the chronological order of all of them, but I do know that like it's I believe it is after, but they're kind of interwoven, I think, a little bit. Like one's before, one's after. I don't know for sure which is which. But I mean, for the most part, they all kind of follow the same, like, all the aliens have the same like whatever you want to call it, like lifespan where they start from the chest bursters to like the other stuff or the face huggers to the chest bursters and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So it's all pretty similar there. But Romulus came out in 2024, and on my letterbox I make like a 2024 list,
Mhm.
and I had it above Dune 2, I had it above Wicked, I had it above Deadpool Wolverine, Wild Robot. I had it as my favorite above everything else. And I saw it back-to-back days too. I saw it once and it was like really scary and I watched it by myself, and then I went and saw it with other people the next day and I felt just as good about it. Like it is the Aliens does a good job of being like sci-fi but also being kind of like every Aliens movie that at least the ones that I've seen kind of followed the same plot of like there's an alien loose in the ship and they have to try to get it, but it's like getting them one by one, and it's kind of cool. But the thing about Romulus that is different from all the others is it obviously kind of has its own like world, like it's kind of built its own world in a sense. And so like everybody knows about the face huggers and the xenomorphs and all that, but nobody really knows what happens after the xenomorph. So it's like, at the very end when you have the pregnancy, right? And
Yeah.
you can skip if you haven't seen it and you want to, but you have the pregnancy, and nobody who has seen any of the Alien, like if you've watched all of Aliens, you have no idea what's coming. And so like to have that, what's his name? Robert Bobrowski or whatever his name is. Yeah, I don't know if y'all caught that, but the guy who plays that is like the really tall European basketball player that was really popular when we were like 14.
Oh, no way.
And he's like
I didn't realize it was an actual person. I thought it was all like special effects.
No, yeah, it's a real
Oliver
person.
Rio
Yeah,
or
he's a
whatever.
basketball player. He was a basketball player, but it was super freaky because nobody knew what to expect. So you see this thing and everyone's like, whoa, what the heck? Because when they first shoot it, it's like in the distance and you can only kind of see his figure or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's super freaky. And like, I remember watching that in theaters and I was like, it freaked me out. Like I was super scared, but
Sure, yeah.
that's why I liked it. That's why it deserved 4.5 for me. Like it was really, really good.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I loved it. I was fully engaged the whole time. Yeah, I think the reveal wasn't the thing like eating, wasn't it eating somebody? Or
Oh yeah.
and it like turned around.
Well, the girl that gave birth to it,
Yeah.
he was like feeding from her, and like the girl who I forget the main character, she like kind of turned the corner and saw him
Yeah.
or it or whatever, and then it was like this whole thing, and yeah, but I mean, super creepy, like super. Not like jump scary either. Like that's the other thing about these movies. I know you've talked about it, like the jump scare aspect of easy cop outs for scary movies, and
Yeah.
like, I think that movies like that do a good job of making it kind of more creepy and like not as jump scary or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I think they're a little like, of course you're gonna make me scared if you turn up the volume a bunch and make it really quiet beforehand. But the chilling, like watching something and it being like slow and drawn out and it being like kind of the uncanny valley where your brain sees it and you know what it is, but there's something slightly off and it just kind of creeps you out. I think being able to do that aspect is what it like sends a chill down your spine. I think that's the coolest if somebody can make me do that.
You know what movie that you said Weapons didn't have any, like they didn't did a good job of making it scary without the jump scares, and I just completely disagree. There were so many times where it went quiet and then you just get and it's like the jump scare, and I'm like, bro, Cole's freaking lying.
And I know you were hiding under your blanket, Kate, and I can see it now.
So there was one part when I actually put my hands over my eyes, and I'm trying to remember which part it was. No, I don't think it was that part. I think it was.
Is it when
it
it's
was
in the
towards
bed?
the end. The dream.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, so that one I think I did cover. I don't remember if that was the one. It was either that one or it was closer to the end whenever he like the final sequence whenever they're going into the house, maybe.
When he goes down to see all the kids parked in the basement.
Oh my gosh, bro. The part that got me was that freaking creepy old lady in the basement whenever he's like trying to find his son.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
that was probably the scariest part, and that wasn't even really like it was kind of a jump scare, like it was whatever, but
yeah,
I think I think maybe it was whenever the cop was unzipping the tent, maybe, because I thought it was that freaky lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was there was a lot of kind of just like jumpy things. I think I did y'all ever figure out why what the gun was for in the dream? Because I felt like that was completely out of the nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think there was like symbolism because it was like weapons. It means wasn't it talking about the movie is like symbolic to like everyone's reaction to like tragedy, which I think they associated it with like school shooting, and the gun was like the kids are being used as weapons by the witch, right? And so, but it's also symbolic because it's like, to be honest, I watched a video on it and I've kind of forgotten it, but I think, yeah, it had something to do with, it's similar to talking about tragedy, but then I guess maybe kind of specifically talking about school shootings, but.
Okay. Yeah, I just felt like that was really random. I was expecting them to explain that like
Yeah.
later on because it was kind of in the same timeline of the dad trying to figure out like what was going on, and I thought that was like a clue, but it ended up not like explaining it, so I didn't know.
Yeah. I guess it was, yeah. I honestly can't remember. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I'm trying, there was, as far as other movies, I watched Ballad of a Small Player yesterday. The reviews, so the average score on Letterboxd is a 2.8. I get it. I'm a sucker for poker movies. Also, every single scene in that movie, you could like screenshot and hang it in a gallery somewhere. The cinematography, I'm a sucker for the cinematography. If you can just dress up a bad plot and make me entertained, I'll really like it. Also, it was a poker movie with Colin Farrell. I don't think a lot of other people didn't like the plot. I didn't care. I loved it. So I gave it 4 stars, which
Okay.
I would be kind of interested to see if y'all would watch it and feel the same way. But I'm also, again, I've just said, I'm a sucker for if you can frame everything really, really well. I start to care less and less about the plot.
I commend you for watching a movie that was rated that low on Letterboxd, because I know people who will not watch a movie if it doesn't have good ratings on Letterboxd. It's like they would rather not waste their time. So
Sure.
Because I'm an advocate for, if something looks like something you're interested in, then watch it no matter what it's rated, because then if you're just watching movies that have high ratings, then you're not giving yourself the opportunity to have an opinion, right? Because
Sure.
it's like you're only watching good movies. So it's like
No grades.
movies that don't have good ratings, like, yeah, take a shot on it if you think you like it. And then, I have more respect for that. So,
And to be honest, what I try and do is I don't look at the reviews before I watch a movie, because what I'll do is I'll be like, oh, this has 4.1 stars. Okay, this is a good movie, and I'll start watching it. And all I'm thinking is like, I'm picking out all the things that make it a good movie. Versus if I see the rating is bad, it's the opposite. I'm like, why is it bad? And I only look at the bad things. With this one, I genuinely watched the whole movie. I get, like, if you're trying to like pull a meaning from the movie, the meaning is a little muddied, maybe, if that's where you're going, of like, okay, what was the purpose? But I got to the end of the movie and I was like, this is like 4.5 stars. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Letterboxd rating is like a 3.8, 3.9, and I look at it 2.8. So maybe because it's a Netflix movie, maybe a ton of people haven't watched it, and so the first couple ratings are bad, and then everyone else just piles on. But it was kind of similar to The Substance. I don't know, the way that, you know how The Substance like just looks really good, the way that the color grade and kind of the way that they framed certain things. This one it was just, if you watch it on mute, like I could watch that movie on mute and just like watch how each thing is framed. I thought it was very, very good.
yeah, I'm a sucker for the way a movie looks, because like movies like the Batman and Dark Knight that are more like noir, and like
Yes.
the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 like are both just shot really well and have a good like color scheme to them. And honestly, that's kind of why I'm a little bit nervous, because I'm watching all the Star Wars in chronological order. So that's why I'm a little nervous to start the original trilogy now after already seeing the prequels, because I know like there's the CGI obviously is a lot better, and that's why I think I'm going to be more high on the most recent trilogy because I think it's going to be because it feels like it's going to be better shot and like have better CGI and be more aesthetic in a sense. So
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. I watched them as a kid, so there's nostalgia wrapped up in it every time. So I kind of just it's easy for me to overlook. But it's harder for me to like older movies that rely on like 2001: A Space Odyssey. It was the Batman, cinematography wise, it was the Batman or the Dune of their time. But now it's really hard to stick through that one personally. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk quickly about your thoughts on World Series Game 7, and then we'll talk about your thoughts on Clash Royale, and then we'll get you out of here because I know that you gotta be places.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Okay, World Series Game 7. We haven't talked about it. What a game! Game of the baseball
Cinema.
game, right? I would think.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
It was statistically proven as the greatest World Series ever. Like they're like based on whatever it's called, like the amount of swings that were in the game. It was statistically proven as like the one of the greatest Game 7s of all time.
It was absolutely insane because Blue Jays are at home. Bo Bichette 3-run home run. It looked like the Dodgers were never in it until Rojas
Miggy Rowe.
1 out. I don't know what the count was, but he hit. I think it was it a slider?
I don't remember.
It just looked like a sinker or something that was low, and he just golfed that baby over the left field wall.
That's Miggy Rowe's first homer off a right-handed pitcher this season.
Crazy. Well, you always think about like as like a fan, like if you're a Dodgers fan in that moment, the little amount of hope you have is all on the guy who's batting after him, right?
Yeah,
so it's like you're kind of in that phase of like, all right, we just got to get to Shohei or like whatever it is. Like they're not even, and then you have like your guy who like just steps up and you're in the 9th inning too. So it's like you have 2 outs left and just like, as fans, you know how it feels when you're in that last inning and you only have a couple pitches left and it's like you feel like you have no hope and like you hit that home run and then you tie the game and you're like, all right, we're right there. And then you have Shohei up to the plate next. Like I can only imagine as a Dodgers fan, like how that must felt. And like for me, I mean, I obviously was not rooting for the Dodgers. To me, it felt like a Disney movie that ended like it felt like Avengers Infinity War. Like you have every opportunity to defeat Thanos and then he snaps and all of your favorite heroes are gone. So it was bad.
Yeah. So y'all are baseball guys, so y'all may be able to answer this question. I was thinking in that moment, I was saying, okay, I think they're going to walk Ohtani. So if Rojas strikes out, they're just going to walk Ohtani and put, and then have, was it Mookie who's betting after him? They're just going to pitch to Mookie. If Rojas would have walked, do you think that they also would have intentionally walked Ohtani to put Rojas in scoring position?
Probably not.
With 1 out?
I don't think so.
Just based on his last couple games, right? I feel like you probably pitched to him, but I think I mean I also wouldn't want to leave. I would probably, if it was me, I would not want to give Shohei the opportunity personally because just who he is. I would rather just take the bat out of his hands at that point. I would pitch around him maybe. Try to get a ground ball or something.
pitch around him. You can live with a walk. But I don't know if you intentionally put a runner in scoring position up 1 in the 9th inning at home with 1 out already.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, because that's what I was like. Okay, I was thinking in my head. I was like, Rojas, your job is to find a way on base, however it is. Walk, get hit by a pit,
lean in,
something.
wear it.
Just find a way to get on base. So when he hit it, and and then announcers started to do their thing. It was just tie game, go to the ninth, and then 10th inning, right? So sorry, bottom of the 9th, Blue Jays, all bases loaded. How many outs? 1 out, I believe. Because then Dalton Varsho, I believe, hits it to Rojas. Rojas throws home, throws out.
Yeah, that play by Rojas throwing home was ridiculous too.
Yeah. And his foot was almost off the bag.
I know.
Also,
that was
incredible play by Rojas. This has nothing to do with Rojas anymore. That is completely on Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Did you see his lead off third? He was practically standing on third base when the ball was being thrown. It was ridiculous. If he would have gotten an average lead, not even aggressive, they would have been World Series champions with a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Unbelievable. It made me mad as someone cheering for the Blue Jays.
Wow.
But
George Springer, by the way, Zach, you gotta give him props for that coming in that last game.
Dude, he's such a dog.
I gotta bring up the stat though. Springer in the World Series when he's playing, the Dodgers went 4-0. So no game that George Springer started in the World Series did they win.
That's crazy.
Which is not Springer's fault, obviously, but it's kind of funny.
That's a crazy stat.
Because he went.
And they wouldn't have even been in the World Series if he wouldn't have played Game 7 against Seattle. So
don't do that.
He's such a dog, bro. I think it was it you that texted me? Like, what is Springer, like, what injury is he dealing with?
Yeah.
And I just sent that photo of Kobe Bryant where he had, like, 2 shoulder pads. Both his legs are completely wrapped up. It's like, bro has a broken rib, a hurt wrist, a hurt knee. He's battling.
He's got everything.
That's my guy.
Yeah,
I was so sad.
He was grimacing whenever he would swing the bat.
Every time.
And he would just grimace. But then I think he went either...
He started 3 for 3. He ended Game 7 3 for 4.
3 for 4.
That'll play.
That's putting.
I wrote down before Game 7. I wrote down Yamamoto should have won the MVP because I was positive that they were going to give it to Shohei or like anybody but him.
No.
And it's just so well. I think Yamamoto winning MVP is so much deeper than people realize, specifically because of the 18-inning game. Because you look at the Dodgers injury report and it's all relief pitchers, like Kirby Yates included. So you have all these relievers that you don't have, and then you play in this 18-inning game where you have to use every arm you have, and then Yamamoto pitches. I don't even remember how many total innings it was, and then he comes in that last game too. It just, and like numbers aside, like it's just that I think that 18-inning game specifically could have been the swing in the Blue Jays' favor, but Yamamoto just took over.
He was so dominant. He was so good.
Ridiculous.
Definitely deserved. I'm bringing this up because I saw it. I bookmarked it on Twitter. I am not bringing this up in any way to diminish Yamamoto because what he did was unbelievable. Throwback, though, to our childhood. I don't know if you'll remember this. Caden, you probably will, though. During the San Francisco Giants dynasty run of 3 and 6 years, 2014, Madison Bumgarner, he got World Series MVP. So I'm going to compare stats. Yamamoto, this series, he went 17.2 innings with a 1.02 ERA, 15 strikeouts, 2 walks, and obviously clinched Game 7 in relief. Madison Bumgarner in 2014, 21 innings pitched, 21 innings pitched. That's unreal. 0.43 ERA with 21 strikeouts and 2 walks. And he also came in relief in Game 7 and went 5 full innings, no runs.
What in the world?
He started the 5th. They did an opener, and then he came in the 5th inning, and he closed the game out.
Good Lord.
Unbelievable. Mad bum.
Who did the Giants play that year?
Kansas City Royals.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, because then the year after, the Royals got their championship.
Okay. Wow.
15, I think.
Yeah, dude. Yamamoto's his windup, it looks like he's doing like a pirouette up there where he just does it, but it's so precise, and then he just throws, 96 down the pipe. Ridiculous.
Insane. And when you have a guy like Ohtani who you can use to start a game too, it creates such a dynamic.
The NPB pipeline to the Los Angeles Dodgers is unbelievable.
It's insane.
They have Sasaki.
They're gonna get everybody.
And so Max, you're ready. This is getting into off-season talk a little bit. Max Muncy's a free agent, and Caden knows this guy well. Munetaka Murakami is coming into the league.
Munetaka.
He's getting posted. So that if they let Max walk, they have a chance to get Munetaka. And Shota Imanaga, the starter for the Cubs that's been good, the Cubs declined his option, and then he declined his player option yesterday. So he's now a free agent. So they could have Imanaga, Murakami, Sasaki, Yamamoto, and Ohtani. And they have that shortstop that just came over. I forget his name. It's Hae-Sung Kim, right? Not Ha-Sung Kim, Hae-Sung Kim.
It's something Kim.
It's ridiculous, dude.
That's crazy.
And they can pay too.
Yeah.
they can buy all of them.
That's just the funny part of baseball to me, is that since there's no salary caps, it's just like we can buy everybody.
Yeah. And I don't love it because the Dodgers are so freaking good and they're going to stay good. I don't hate it that
it's just fun.
Their
I don't
owner
know.
is just so much more committed financially than any other owner. It's like if he's willing to do it.
And honestly, if the A's, if I don't know, just like Jeff Bezos or Elon was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy the A's, and then just boom, everybody, it's put everybody on the roster, that could possibly happen. That would be hilarious. That should happen.
Oh.
I hear Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, and they can get anybody.
They're gonna be real bad from 2035 to 2050. When
I saw they were looking at
their roster, but they're paying all
$2
of these
billion.
players.
Yeah,
They were. I saw Bo Bichette was in the mix too.
Yeah, because he's a free agent.
I mean, they can.
golly.
It's insane.
I hope he stays. Him and Vladdy have been the face of that franchise for years now.
Yeah, forever. That's crazy. All right, anything else? World Series. Good job, Dodgers. USA. USA. All right. Last thing. What are your thoughts on the Clash Royale season? On just your thoughts.
I think I've only played 2 games this season.
Oh wow.
What?
No, Kboss, you've hung up the.
I'm slowly losing hope on the game only because I'm so hard stuck, and
I am too right now.
Yeah.
I'm super hard stuck and I just can't get past it. And I just used my shards on the Evo Witch, and the Evo Witch is really good, but it's just to the point now where it's I just can't move up, and it's I try to learn all these new decks to try to get something new, and it's I guess it's just a skill issue on my part, but I just can't seem to get over the hump of being able to use a log bait deck or an expo deck or I don't know, whatever it is. And it's all in part because of my faults as a young boy using MK for so long. It's It's like
finally
Kate
catching my
Lynch says,
season.
man, it stunts your growth.
Yeah. Uh, I've been facing a lot of hog. It's like hog firecracker, hog EQ, hog fireball. I mean, it's ruining my life right now. What trophies are you stuck at?
I'm at like 6,800.
6,800. Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm as of Andres, bro. If you're watching this, bro, we talked about it the other day, but uh, his girlfriend just passed me in the clan, on trophies. So, I think that might have been the final straw for me. Um, but yeah, I can't get over the hump. And I evoed my witch. I have my Tesla, and my deck is super random. So it's like it's basically a free tower because nobody expects it when I use it.
Mm,
And but I think it's the fact that there's a lot of counters. Like I have to be playing against like the perfect deck to win type thing.
yeah. Well, and to be honest, I want to say I made my biggest trophy jump when Evo Witch was like really, really good. And it was when all skeletons on the map regenerate her health. So I would literally just Evo Witch and then Graveyard, and nobody could kill the Witch. It was just tower down. I think the meta now is like, I think there's just, to be honest, there's probably a lot of variations. So also too, I would play like Mega Knight, and it would be something brain rot, like Mega Knight and whatever you want, Hog. And my deck countered that really well. And so everybody would be playing this deck. I would be able to counter it. So like it was just a good season, and I got all the way up. I'm stuck at 9,700 right now. Cannot get to 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think the Evos that have been coming out, I haven't bought any of them, but I think they've been interesting with the Skeleton Army and the Royal Ghosts, and then now the Piggies. I think the Piggies one, and also the Three Musketeers rework. It's all interesting stuff. I feel like it's created a lot of diversity, which just means that like, yeah, you're just going to be playing so many different against so many different decks that it's hard to like you just win one, lose one, win one, lose one. That's all I do.
Yeah, I'm not like 1-1. I'm like I'll win 4 and then I'll lose 4.
Oh, okay.
Like it's brutal. I'm stuck at 7,600 right now.
Okay.
I love my Evo baby drag.
I hate how the Firecracker is just like Tom Brady, where that thing is standing on the bridge and it is hitting my tower every single time. It's ridiculous.
I don't know, man. It's just I will say my favorite part right now is I got a lot of good emotes. Got a lot of good emotes.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'd be
That's
using the pig shaking his ass all the time.
I know you did not spend $5 on that emote.
No, I got it in the shop for 250 gems. It was in the rotating shop.
I haven't seen it in the gym shop. I've only seen it for money.
Feels good.
Yeah. We had a little drama in the clan. We had a schism. There were people who just want to chill. They're chill clashers, and then we have the high achievers, right? And as Nick Saban said, high achievers don't like, low achievers, and low achievers don't like high achievers. So we had a great schism, and now there are 2 clans that are made up of the people that we know.
Yeah, the clan is, and I think it came down to the fact that there were some guys who wanted to take over the clan because of the community that they surround themselves with, and we, as the beginning of the clan, didn't feel comfortable passing the torch to somebody who, we worked hard to build that clan, so it's not like we want to, get rid of it. And so it came down to like, it came down to the old balls versus the supples, and the old balls, we didn't feel like we were in a position to give up a clan to a smaller group of people, So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just came
Don't
down
let
to
the
that.
tail wag the dog, Caden.
yeah. Can you give us the inside track? Do you have any other info on this? Because I've been left in the dark about this.
Sure. Yeah, so I was actually this all was going down. The it was all going down during the Mississippi State week. So I was in College Station while it was going on,
Mhm.
which gave me prime insight. Um, and I was staying with our fearless leader, Cade Lynch, and basically he shared the information with me of there was a certain person that in the organization that wanted to uh, basically take over as leader and
Uh-huh.
have everybody who wasn't involved in the organization anymore to leave, which would have been probably like realistically probably over 50% of the clan,
Sure.
because there wasn't enough room for the newest faces of the organization to join.
Mm.
And so they wanted kind of the people who were, out of the organization for a while to leave. And
Dang.
I
So
think,
alumni. So like I would have gotten.
yeah, so
Wow.
basically it was like Cade and Andres were in communications of like, I don't think this makes sense for us because we started this clan and we wanted it to be a place for alumni and actives to be involved. And
Yeah.
so they basically said, because the people in the organization wanted to essentially just take over the entire clan and become leaders and like just make it an active only thing.
Sure.
And we were like, if y'all want to do that, then you need to make your own clan and do it because we have community here as
Sure. Yeah.
as alumni. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
didn't make sense.
Okay. Yeah. Because I honestly thought that the point of conflict was that people didn't want to do like clan wars or like they didn't want to take it seriously, and Cade was like, if you're not taking it seriously, like you have to get out.
Yeah, I think it was I mean, we're obviously not going to keep like people who are inactive in the clan because
Sure.
we want to have room for people who want to contribute.
Oh,
But it
100%.
was
Yeah.
more of it wasn't as much of people who aren't contributing or getting kicked. It was more
Okay.
of like people who wanted to make room for the new people in the org to join. But
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. I can see how that could generate some conflict there for sure.
yeah, so clan's a little bit thinner now, I think. I don't know, but
I
we
feel
have,
like we're back.
and also I think there's some people in the clan who weren't ever in the organization that were just good community with people who were in the organization, and so
Sure.
I think that was another issue too, is it wasn't all
Or they wanted to move.
our group, is there was some more people like that were just friends, but at the same time it's like we're not going to be super exclusive on who we let in. And if you're if you're a friend and you are a contributor, then you shouldn't be excluded.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, man.
All right. Kboss, Caden, great to have you on again. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Tell Brian happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell your pops happy birthday from sports, dude.
No.
Shout out sports, dude, man.
Yeah.
We're all active listeners. Appreciate y'all having me, and look forward to talking ball, talking movies soon. And this will be a lifelong I hope to be a lifelong guest and contributor to the productivity of this podcast.
We'll see. I know for a fact you'll be on the next time Ohio State loses. That I can promise you.
And I'll continue to be clip farming. By the way, if you want a really good clip, just go ahead and shoot me a text, and I got you. Who knows? Maybe we'll see it on the For You page here.
Oh, no.
Great.
Oh, no.
Fantastic. Yeah, no.
I'll start clipping.
No press is bad press, man. Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day, and yeah, happy birthday to Mr. Basil.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good rest of the episode, and I'll be continuing to listen, and I'm sure I'll have plenty more to say about y'all's takes here soon.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Sounds great.
All right, later.
Well, peace.
Right. See y'all.
Okay. NFL talk. Texans, Broncos. I saw Chris Abrams' drain just lay into CJ Stroud.
Oh my God.
And he let him know can't be trying to slide around here. Yeah, he did get a flag for it, right?
And they picked it up.
Oh, they picked it up? Wow.
That's like the 1% where it's a clean hit, but it's just so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because
it was a clean hit, you're right.
Unless you're facing like an actual demon in the back on defense. Like the defense doesn't want to see that happen either.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to be like, oh, I just hit him so hard he's on the ground and he can't control his fingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was just very unfortunate. CJ, I hope you're okay. I hope your head is okay.
Yeah.
He's not practicing today. So.
Okay. So he might be sidelined for a little bit.
Yeah, probably for this week.
Okay. Well, that's not great news for the Texans. But I don't know, maybe since he was probably going to get injured with his offensive line,
at some
right?
point.
It's not an ACL.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's only a concussion. It's only maybe him being out. I don't know. What are your expectations right now for the Texans this year? Are you just like waiting until they actually put money into finding him an offensive line, or
legitimately, my goal for the Texans this season is don't let anyone have like a horrific injury.
Yeah.
Because it's looking like every week I'm just waiting for it. And
yeah.
I mean, there hasn't been anything like terrible, but like Nico missed some time with a concussion.
Yeah,
now
he took
CJ,
a shot in that game.
Yeah. And I mean, Joe Mixon hasn't played a snap and he probably won't, especially now.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm like, just don't put your future in jeopardy.
Yeah.
CJ.
Yeah, no, because I mean, he is a big reason why the Texans are good these days, or anywhere close to that upper echelon of okay, this team one of these days could make the playoff.
It's so sad to see too because the defense is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have the least amount of points allowed all year. Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson, arguably the top edge rushing duo in the league. The defense is so good, and it's just being wasted by just traffic cones at the O-line.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you talked about it. You saw it. But we started doing like a jumbo package where we'd have 6 offensive linemen. Against the 49ers 2 weeks ago, whenever we won, it was the entire game we did that. And it was better, but it still wasn't like pushing people around.
Yeah.
So even with 6 on 4, we're still not great at that. I just don't want CJ to get really hurt.
Yeah. No, and then you have one less, wide out, or I don't know, you have a tight end chipping, or whatever it is. It hinders your offensive ability.
Mm-hmm. I love Daniil Hunter, and he's a really good player. He's making so much money, and with how our defense looks right now, It's not that I want him to be off the team because he's so good, but financially, like, we can survive with Will Anderson and someone else, and we'd have $55 million more.
Yeah.
To put in an O-line. That's what
better
I
O-line.
think we got to do this off season.
Yeah, you need a more well-rounded team rather than just having a couple really good players. But y'all almost won. Y'all almost beat the Broncos.
Which is ridiculous. We're very similar teams. Very similar teams. Absolute elite defenses. And the offenses, it's hard to watch most of the time.
So y'all scored 15 points.
All field goals.
5 field goals.
And Kaimi missed a 51-yarder, so it could have been another.
Holy. 5 field goals. Did y'all have, how many field goals did y'all have last week? Against Seattle? Because wasn't it also
God,
like
I don't
4?
remember against Seattle, something like that.
Okay. I thought there was a lot during for the Seattle one.
I mean, Kaimi, he has a lot of points this season.
Yeah. I don't know who has him in our fantasy league, but I'll
I
have
have
to
him in a
check.
couple.
Do you know how many points he got from?
I can find
Because
out.
that's 15 points. So he had to at least have,
Like 18.
yeah.
But he missed one, which deducts. But he missed it, and it was over 50, which I think if you miss over 50, it's not a penalty.
Okay.
My fantasy won't load, but
Okay.
he had to have a lot.
Yeah, I would assume that he had a lot. Yeah, so Texans, they fall short against the Broncos. Broncos are a good team, is what it is. CJ Stroud gets injured. Yeah. Just figure out a way to finish up the season without injuring CJ, or
And then draft Caden Proctor.
yeah, and then find a way to cobble together an offensive line that actually protects for your franchise quarterback. Jackson Dart, he looks good. He looks really good.
Especially considering he doesn't have neighbors.
Yeah.
Or Scatterboo
Or
now.
Scatterboo now. Yeah. Jackson Dart, still looking real good. I'm trying to think of anything.
Did you see Jaden Daniels?
I did. I didn't see the play, though.
Bro.
Is it bad?
Oh, my God.
I saw he had a cast and stuff.
Oh, it looks so bad.
What happened?
It was an elbow. His arm, hit the ground like this, and his elbow just
No.
opposite way.
No.
It looked real bad.
But he has freaky elbows. Maybe it's just...
He has freaky elbows, but even just normal, they look weird because they bulge out this way.
That
but
one
still,
photo
yeah,
of him, and it's like...
no, but this was definitely
actually-
not like a freaky, he's flexible thing. It was
Oh.
his elbow literally was 90 degrees the wrong way.
That's terrible.
It was
man.
bad.
Especially because he just came back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our janitor was talking to me about it, and he was saying that he said that he knew that Jaden Daniels was going to get hurt at the beginning of the game because he was running around so much already.
He always knows. He told me before last season, that Caleb Williams would not start more than 10 games in the NFL because he would have a career-ending injury within his first 10 games. And Jaden Daniels should have been the number 1 pick because he actually knows how to slide.
Yep. That sounds like him. Let's see. He threw a couple ideas at us. One was a all AI robot league where it's like Madden, but the players play real AI robots in an arena, and you have a thing that's controlling it, but you actually watch it. That was an idea that he pitched. He also, his fantasy team isn't doing so well, but he knows why. Because the NFL is rigging it to tank his fantasy.
Mm-hmm. And the players are gambling. And he accidentally drafted all the players that gamble on their own unders.
Yeah, just him.
It's brutal.
But,
brutal break. I hate when that happens.
I mean, yeah, some people are out to get you. And as we know, big money guys like Mr. Disney, like Mr. YouTube, they don't care about the little guy. They don't care that you don't have that you can't watch Texas and Vanderbilt at 11 a.m. No, all they care about is the fact that they get their bread. So, what's new? NFL. I didn't write down a ton of extra stuff about the NFL.
Trades.
Oh, yes.
Trade deadline was
CJ
yesterday.
Gardner Johnson.
Oh, he just signed with the Bears like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Sauce Gardner. Is
Sauce
that who you're
Gardner.
thinking of?
Yes.
He was traded to the Colts.
To the Colts, who are
For-
already looking pretty good.
The Jets fire sale is always like, that's tough. But they did a good job.
Okay.
Because for Sauce Gardner, who's expensive for good reason, they got 2 first-round picks and A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a good trade.
And then they traded Quinnen Williams. Remember him? Bless you. Thank you.
Yes.
To the Cowboys
Okay.
for another first-round pick. So they now have 3 first-round picks in the 2027 draft, which many are speculating will be one of the most stacked drafts of the last few years.
That's very solid. Garrett Wilson, is he
He's still a Jet.
still a Jet? Okay. I didn't know.
He's been injured, so he hasn't played in a while, but he's still a Jet. Brees Hall, still a Jet.
Yeah, I didn't know. Ooh.
Cowboys got Logan Wilson, too, linebacker. Solid.
Yeah, I did see that.
But Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams are the big ones.
Well, yeah, Jets, I mean, they need to make some trades for. They need to kind of, if they can do what the Texans did with drafting Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud and just get 2 really solid, and that changed their program.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what they need at this point.
Mm-hmm. And they've had that. They've had the opportunity. That's how they ended up with Quinnen Williams and Sauce in the first place. And they both worked out. They just didn't do a good job around them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the quarterback situation has just been awful forever.
Yeah.
So this is just a reset. Let's try it again. Draft the right guys, but also make the right moves.
Yeah. And it's like you said, you just said it. You got to draft the right guys. The right guys is the guys that fit within your system, not a guy who's like really, really good. Because if you're getting drafted in the first round, you're a good football player. Or you have the potential to be a good football player.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're Kenyon Green. But I still love you, Kenyon Green.
But yeah, if you're going to do a system, you got to draft a guy who's familiar with the system or wants to be in that system, or because C.J. Stroud, great fit for everything that they're doing down there, and that's why it works. But yeah, you don't want to end up like Bryce Young, and I know he's honestly he's doing a little bit better, but just like that first year, it was just
So bad.
so terrible, such a bad situation for him. Anything else?
Bills beat the Chiefs. That was good. Happens every year. Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season, and then they're going to get boned.
Yep.
And not like killed, but they're going to get killed by the refs and lose a heartbreaker in the playoffs in the divisional round.
Yep.
Every year, man.
Lamar's back. Lamar looked really good against the Dolphins. The Ravens, I mean, they were 2-5. I mean, they could easily come back because all the teams I think I looked at that they've played are like solid teams at the beginning of the season. They have a nice little stretch here where I think they can just be, we blink and they're 7-5 again. Anything else?
Rashid Shaheed is a Seahawk.
Wow. Okay.
Jacoby Myers. Yeah, Jacoby Myers is a Jaguar.
Okay.
That's a big one. But, yeah, those were the main ones.
Okay. Cool. Okay. That was NFL talk. I'm going to talk about AC Milan. Christian Pulisic still injured. So, Rafa and... Oh, I'm trying to think. Who is our other striker? The guy. Crap. Wasn't Salamakers... I forget. Oh, maybe no, it wasn't Nkunku. Dang it. Anyway, AS Roma, they're fighting for the top of the table position right now. They're in the top, before this game they were in the top 4, and so coming in this game, big game in San Siro. The first half is, shoot, my phone's dead. I can't remember. I believe, did we score in the first half? So AS Roma came out, and I mean they had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Bad pass by Barasaki. Bad pass at the beginning of the game. Almost led up for a goal. Dybala, one of their strikers, had a couple of really good chances. He wasn't able to capitalize. I can't remember if it went 0-0 into halftime, but there was one play where finally Barasaki, he made a good defensive play. He took the ball away. I believe he passed it to, I think it was Modric, and Modric got it to Rafa. Rafa comes down the left side of the field. He is in one-on-one, and if you know Rafa, you know that he can cook when it's one-on-one. He gets around him. Their defensive line has to come in and play Rafa. He passes it back to Pavlovic, who is our defender. He scores. It was electric the way that it all worked out, where it was just a counterattack going down to the other end of the field. 1-0. I guess it's going into halftime, so 1-0. We come out in the second half. So at this point, I am at work, and so I don't watch the second half. I watch the highlights. What happened is, I believe in the 88th minute, no, it's Fofana. They have a free kick very, very close to the goal. Fofana is on the wall, and he kicks it. Fofana is turning away. He sticks out his arm. It hits his arm. Ref calls a penalty kick. Dybala, who, again, is the guy who had multiple opportunities, he is 18 for 18 in his career when taking penalties. 18 for 18. He lines up against Mike Magnon, kicks it to the right side. Mike picks the right side, pushes it out. Game-saving penalty save. I believe there's like 6 minutes of added extra time. Go the full length of time. AC Milan edges out AS Roma to, I believe, stay in the top 4 at the top of the table. I believe they're number 2 right now. My phone is dead, so I can't double check that. But they're in the top of the league after drawing 3 out of the last 4 matches. They come away with 3 points. Huge, especially considering AS Roma is also in that top 4 slot, fighting for European football aspirations. And also, actually, they said they call the Serie A championship trophy something, and I can't remember what it is. But anyway, great win for Milan. Great for them considering Pulisic is out, because Pulisic, he is just their most consistent goal scorer. He is the best American soccer player. He is just the best. Like, he is my Wemby.
No.
He's probably better than Wemby
You know
at
what?
what he does.
Shut your mouth.
I think he's an
bum.
alien.
He's a bum.
I think he's an alien.
Absolute bum.
He would get over what did Wemby have in his shoulder?
Blood clot?
No, what is it? What was the medical term? Was it just a blood clot? I thought there was like some
There's a medical term, but it was
arthritis,
blood clot.
something.
Oh, deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah, he would get over deep vein thrombosis in like 2 days.
Hasn't he been hurt for like the last?
Yeah,
few
but
months?
that's a hamstring tear. Very different.
Wemby would get over a hamstring tear in 2 days.
I don't know, man. Wemby's hamstrings are like,
They're like 6 feet.
it's like this long, but like that's a long hamstring. But yes, good job, AC. Keep fighting without Pulisic, and hopefully he's able to come back for the Derby for Inter.
Home run derby.
Yes, for the home run derby.
Yo.
For the Italian soccer home run derby.
Keep fighting, Burnley.
I think they lost.
I have no clue.
I think they lost the other day.
Dang.
Yeah, but you never know. You never know.
I couldn't watch that one, but keep fighting, Burnley.
Yeah, you couldn't make it. You need to support them harder. Okay. Week 11 preview. Got a couple games written down. First one, I have written down, why is this game at 11 o'clock? BYU at Texas Tech.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What are we doing?
That's crazy.
This is number 8 versus number 9.
Where is it? Do you know?
In Lubbock.
Okay.
What are we doing? Why is this game at 11? It's on ABC too. It's not like Fox noon, big noon Fox kickoff, whatever it's called. It's on ABC at 11.
That's stupid.
Why don't we have this game? Because I forget what we have in the primetime slot. Maybe it's A&M in Missouri. I think it actually.
2:30.
Oh, that's the 2:30. So A&M at Missouri is right after BYU at Texas Tech. Maybe it's LSU at Alabama.
That would be ridiculous if it's LSU at Bama.
It would be crazy. I could see how them setting this up at the beginning of the year, that would make sense. Maybe, this wasn't a flex. It wasn't possible to flex this game. But still is a little ridiculous that number 8 versus number 9 is at 11 and they couldn't switch that up. Anyway, who are you picking for BYU at Texas Tech?
I'm going to do it. Texas Tech.
Okay, I was about to say. Yes, I am also picking Texas Tech. If you could write this down.
I am.
Okay, appreciate it, because my phone is out of battery and I have no Wi-Fi up here. I will also be going with Texas Tech. I've talked about it a lot, but they're consistent on both sides of the ball. BYU, they are undefeated. I think they have a little bit of they did beat Utah, so that might cushion the blow, but I believe they have a little bit of an inflated bubble underneath their ranking. And if that were to pop with a loss, I think that they would drop a little bit. But that win at Utah would really help them stay in contention. Okay, Oregon at Iowa. This is a sneaky, very good game.
Mm-hmm.
Very good game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm going to do it.
Do it.
I'm going to pick the Hawkeyes.
Do it.
To
I
beat
like
Oregon.
that. I'm not as brave. I'm going Oregon.
Okay.
But Iowa deserves respect.
They really do. They really do. They actually have like an offense that's been able to generate points, which I don't think is that hasn't been seen in the state of Iowa
ever.
Yeah, definitely not at Iowa. Maybe Iowa State, but Iowa, it's been a minute.
I remember sophomore year of college, I had just started betting like consistently, like often. And Iowa had a great year that year. They made it to the Big Ten championship game, I think against Ohio State, I want to say, or Michigan, one of the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so they're a good team. They made the Big Ten championship game. And I went into Fliff, and you can bet on a bunch in Fliff. And one of them is you can bet on just one team's total over-under.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what their line was?
For the Big Ten championship against Ohio State?
Uh-huh. I believe it was Ohio State.
I'm gonna guess like
And they were like 10-2. Like they were like a good team.
I'm gonna guess like 17.
0.5.
You're to score a point?
And I took the under and it hit.
No shot.
0.5 points.
They said they would score 0 points against not even a field goal. That's crazy.
And it hit under. And it wasn't crazy odds. It wasn't like a plus 2,000. It was like normal. It was like minus 110 or something.
Oof. I think I've seen some clips from, because Ty from the Pat McAfee show, obviously from Iowa, I'm a big Iowa fan. I think I've seen some clips from that year where he was talking about the quarterback and he was calling him like a fat slob or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just being.
Also, I lied on accident. I fact checked. It was Michigan, and
Oh.
the line wasn't 0.5. It had to be like 3.5 because
Okay.
the final score is 42-3. And I remember looking at it and being like, "That's unbelievable. I'm taking the under." So I thought they got shut out. They had one field goal.
Okay. 3. Yeah. Okay. That's crazy though. It was against. Yeah. I guess it was. Yeah, against the JJ McCarthy, Michigan team. Okay. So yeah, it would be
You have Iowa.
I have Iowa.
I like it.
Going with Iowa. Well, let's go Tulane at Memphis.
That's actually a great game.
It is. It's on Friday night. John Summerall versus whoever Memphis's head coach is. But
Kevin something Field.
okay. You think is his name coming up in
A couple.
coaching searches? Okay. I would think.
He's not very high on lists, but there are odds for him for Auburn and I think Arkansas.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know.
I really don't know about this one. I think I'll go Memphis,
Okay.
but
I will too.
yeah. With Memphis being at home, yeah, I'm just gonna go Memphis on this one. I haven't watched either of these two teams a ton, but other than the UAB loss, I feel like Memphis has been really solid. We're gonna go to LSU at Alabama. I think we're gonna be in agreement on this one.
Yeah, they just said Whit Weeks is doubtful still.
I'm gonna go Alabama.
Same here.
Who is LSU's interim head coach?
Frank something.
Okay.
I don't remember. I see his face in my head.
Was he one of the coaches that was getting an earful on the sideline by
No.
Brian Kelly? Okay.
He's not a coordinator.
Okay.
Because Blake Baker, you saw he got fired too, right?
I did not see that.
So Blake Baker got fired. Right? What am I saying? My mind's all over the place now.
I've heard of Blake Baker
Who's their
being.
OC? Their OC got fired.
I don't remember who their OC is, honestly.
Joe Sloan got fired. Blake Baker didn't.
Okay.
Blake Baker isn't even at LSU, is he?
He is. He is.
Blake Baker did not get
Yeah,
fired.
he's there.
Joe Sloan did.
Yeah, because I've heard Blake Baker being mentioned possibly
Yeah.
in coaching searches.
Yeah. Joe Sloan.
Yeah, he might be a guy that could end up going to one of these big schools. But yeah, I'm gonna go Alabama.
Same here.
I wouldn't expect. I mean, it could be. I mean, it's SEC. I don't know how motivated LSU is going to be going into this, considering all that's happened. But I'm picking Alabama at home. Navy at Notre Dame.
Ooh. And now this is an easy one for me.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick Notre Dame. Yeah, but I mean, Navy they kind of got worked by.
They got worked.
Who was it? Was it North Texas?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Guess the
So
line.
I'm gonna go like 10.5.
25.5.
Sheesh. Yeah, so that seems like a safe bet. Georgia at Mississippi State. Do you see anything happening on
Ooh.
in Starkville?
That's an interesting game.
It is. Mississippi State gets a big win last week. First SEC win since 2023.
That's insane.
Ridiculous.
I
Now they
don't.
get Georgia.
I can see it being close. I can't pick Mississippi State.
I agree.
There is the talk, maybe it's a look ahead spot. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it could end up being a close game, but I think Georgia wins.
Yeah. The refs will make sure.
Yeah, it seems like it. Okay, and then I threw on this list Florida State at Clemson. It's really just crazy.
That's insane.
Isn't it crazy to think about Florida State is 4-4 and Clemson is 3-5.
That's ridiculous. Guess who's favored?
Is it Florida State?
Nope.
Clemson's favored?
By 2.5.
Wow. I picked Florida State. I guess it is at home, but I picked Florida State in our pick 'em.
I'll go Clemson just for fun.
Okay. My ACC champion, Florida State.
There's still a chance.
Still a chance. Actually, there's
Absolutely
not.
no chance.
0-4 in ACC play. I don't think that's going to fly. All right. And then the last game on our slate that we're going to talk about
Oh, here we go.
is the Texas A&M Aggies versus the Missouri the Missouri Tigers.
Having bye weeks whenever your team is actually good is so nice.
It's really nice.
I'm not used to. Normally, I'm like dying. I love having bye weeks right now.
Can't take a loss during a bye week.
No.
Yeah. Oh boy, it's a scary one. You're undefeated. Missouri does have their backup quarterback in, but
Matt Zollers,
I
he
think
can spin it.
that's the thing. I don't think there's he's not incompetent. He knows what he's. And also, it was a quarterback battle in camp.
It was for the backup spot, but the
okay.
guy that lost to Perbula got a season-ending injury.
Didn't know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Matt Zollers can spin it. Also, though, it's at home. For them, it's at home.
Their backs against the wall. This is like an elimination game for Missouri.
Back against the wall. There's more at stake for Missouri than there is for A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Big picture wise. I know that's coaches aren't necessarily going to talk about it that way, but they're Ahmad Hardy. We've faced. Nice thing is I guess we have faced running backs who are really good so far.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremiah Love, Price. I'm trying to think if there are any other notable running backs.
I mean, Harlem Berry's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's just young.
Jeremiah Cobb.
Washington.
Yeah. I mean, SEC
Solid.
running backs. Yeah.
But Hardy's probably this is going to be the second best rushing attack we've faced so far.
Yeah.
Or we will face.
It is really nice knowing that you've done this before on the road against a good running back. I don't know how much that plays a role. Probably not really, but you saw. So this week with Vanderbilt on the road, they let up that first quick pass, that 75-yard touchdown. Then they fumbled it on the next drive, field goal, and then 3 and out, touchdown. 17-0 right there. You're probably going to lose the game if you do that. So, going on the road to Missouri, I mean, you just have to, come out and keep it close in the first little bit, just like with LSU. And if you keep it close, I think you can, outlast them because there's just so many ways to win on offense that eventually you would think something's going to pop free. Eventually you're going to have a big play on offense. On defense, you need to obviously do the opposite. It's just limit those types of plays and keep it close so that your explosive offense doesn't have, the world on their shoulders, end of the third, beginning of the fourth quarter. But, on paper, A&M probably should win this game, but the game is not played on paper, so it's a tough one. It is a really tough one.
I think Matt Zollers is really good. I mean, he was a 4-star, like a good 4-star out of high school. I am not a scout. I can't do that kind of stuff. But I did watch some of his high school tape. That man can spin the ball. That man can throw it. So, coming in against Vanderbilt, he looked good.
Yeah.
Perbula hasn't been that good, and their team has put themselves at whatever they're at, 6-2. And statistically, Perbula has not been good. Like, not a good quarterback. So, I think they don't really win because of how their quarterback typically plays anyway. So, yes, there's a lot of pressure from the view of like, you know, this might be an elimination game when you're talking playoff, but he's kind of just stepping into a system that works and doesn't put it all on him. So, this is a legit test. We'll see. I feel like A&M's earned the right to trust, even whenever there are things, you know, that don't look great. But
Yeah.
it has eased my mind a bit because the line opened at 4.5, I believe, and it has since moved to 7.
Wow.
And that's not based on the public. That's based on they call them the sharps. Those are like the big money, like consistent bettors, like do it for a living.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me some hope that the people who, the very small group of people who are good at gambling are betting on A&M.
Yeah.
But I'm still worried.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Missouri is a solid team, and they're going to be at home playing for their season. And yeah, that's probably the scariest part for me. And yeah, I think I've really trying to think of if there's anything new that I want to talk about with A&M, because I think most of it is just kind of the same old, you know, me just repeating myself.
We did get some bulletin board material last night.
Oh, what happened?
After the rankings came out, they interviewed the main guy on the board, the selection committee, and they were asking him how they separated 1, 2, and 3, and he understandably was like, it's the smallest margins you can imagine. They all 3 could have been put at 1, but he said A&M's defense we just don't see as a number 1 team's defense. So there's some bulletin board material there.
Yeah.
Which I understand. I'm not thinking that's some crazy take or A&M's the best. Obviously not. But with how Cassius Howell acts and Mike Elko, how he talks and everything, I kind of like having that out there.
Yeah. I maybe I'll do like more of a deep dive for the next podcast on kind of the defense and what are the issues for why we've let up as many points as we have. I want to say there have just been some big plays. Yeah, they just have popped some big plays, and I guess it's gap integrity. I felt like the tackling has been good for the most part. And yeah, I'll have to do a deep dive and look into it. But I guess I get it. From a statistical standpoint, Ohio State and Indiana, I mean, you look at their games and they've scored 50 points and they've let up 10, sub 10. I feel like we let up a lot of points to Arkansas. We let up a lot of points to Notre Dame. Let up 25 to LSU. I don't know. But yeah, I get it. I think our offense is really good, and that's what's won us games, and our defense has been good enough. So I get it from a complete game standpoint, but we will see, because Miami looked they were doing, you know, similar things at the beginning of the season, and here they are with 2 losses. So you just got to keep playing. We'll see where it goes. Okay. Yeah.
I'm going A&M.
Yeah,
I haven't picked A&M in a long time because I had Arkansas and I had LSU.
Yep. And I have been unprofessional, and I have picked A&M. I think, I don't know, every game.
You picked them every game.
I think I picked them every game. Yeah. But yeah, I'm picking them again. But yeah. All right. You've got anything else?
Shout out Aggie volleyball.
Yeah.
At Texas A&M is the only university top 10 in volleyball and football.
Come on. Bring it on.
We beat 2 top 10 teams this last week in volleyball. Texas, number 2. Tennessee, number 9.
Yeah. I saw Texas was undefeated, but they were number 2. So I guess it's Wisconsin who's number 1
Or Nebraska.
or Nebraska.
Something.
It's probably Nebraska.
I think it's Nebraska.
Nebraska. I can't remember who's the like powerhouse volleyball school.
Well, then Texas, right after they lost to us, they got swept by Kentucky. 3 straight sets.
Really? Is Kentucky good?
They're ranked, but they shouldn't be. Nobody should beat Texas in 3.
No. They're what? Are they defending national
They
champions?
won the Natty last year.
Are they back-to-back national champions? Okay.
No.
But yeah, they are very good. Good program. All right. That's our show. Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, we love you guys and appreciate everyone listening. We'll see you next week.